Yes, y'all, you know what it is. It's them kids and wives and 925s, but we are still married to the games. Episode 318. Oh yeah, it's your boy Gabe Patillo with Tim Router, Ed Placencia, and Chris McCracken, of course. And as always, we are talking games and life and games. And guess what? It's a for one of us. Night show
for me.
For 25% of us.
So jealous of you, Tim.
That beautiful
That's
voice
right,
you hear is Tim Router. Even though he said he wasn't gonna be here, he is here for the people.
That's
right.
Dedication right there.
I made it happen. I'm out on the patio of our hotel room here in beautiful Oahu, Hawaii, and it is awesome, and we're having so much fun. And I'm actually just super pumped that this is, I think, the furthest I've ever recorded a podcast from you guys. So
that's right.
Yeah, it's just pretty crazy. So I mean,
how do they get the internet all the way out there? I don't understand.
Right? It's crazy.
Extension cords, Chris.
Lots and lots of extension cords.
How'd they get one that long?
Gabe, I'm halfway to Tokyo, baby. So get out here. Let's make this happen.
We'll
head right out there.
Goodness gracious. So apparently the default is sacrifice.
Yes,
this
sure.
week. Chris,
absolutely.
Tim is out there doing it for us, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm actually just super happy I can talk to you guys and hang out for a little bit while I'm here.
So what time is it there, and how was your travels, and how's your week been?
Man, it's been great. Piper's topic of the week is aloha, because that's what everybody says here. And so it's really great.
Did they just say that to get your money?
Probably.
That's how I felt when I went to England. I rode with a taxi driver, and he was like, "Oh, good day, governor." And I was like, "Doggone it, here's a bigger tip than I was going to give you."
Tally ho.
That's amazing. No, we left at 6 a.m. on Saturday morning, connected to LAX, and then from LAX went to Honolulu. And I got to say, my little girl did awesome on the plane.
Oh, good.
Thankfully, they had like built-in screens with all kinds of movies and shows to watch, and she was just awesome. So I was able to catch up on some of the movies that I didn't get to see either. Like I
thought you were going to say sleep.
No, man, I don't sleep on planes. I can't sleep on planes at all.
Yeah.
And so I watched Deadpool 2, which was amazing. I watched Solo. And then I watched Avengers Infinity War again. And it was just glorious watching it for the second time. But yeah, I got caught up on all of my superhero movies and Star Wars movies. And it was great.
That's awesome. What'd you think of Solo?
Was out there, so I really liked it. I thought it was really good.
Really?
I really enjoyed it.
Good.
I mean, it was a little more like, I don't know. It wasn't as, I don't think they took it as serious as I thought that a lot of Star Wars fans probably wanted them to. But it was still really good. I enjoyed it. It was a good little action movie. And I didn't mind him playing Han Solo, by the way. Like I thought he was pretty good.
Good. That's really good to hear. I never saw it.
So,
I need to catch up with it.
Yeah.
But I just wasn't drawn to it. But I do still want to see it. And I think a plane is a perfect place to
really
sit there and catch up on movies you haven't seen.
It is the absolute perfect place to see it. And like all of the movies, you know how back in the day, a lot of the movies were edited and, they take out all the bad words. Not this one. They don't do that anymore. I don't think. It's like straight up. If you want to watch it, you can watch it. I'm watching Deadpool going, oh my God, I hope nobody's around right now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. They let them fly on the planes now since you have the headphones.
Yeah, it's so funny because it used to not be that way. They used to edit them and be like, holy jeez, and all that stuff. All the fun VO that they do.
That's right.
But yeah, man, we're out here. We're at Aulani Resort, which is Disney's resort out here on the west shore of Oahu. Just having it's just great family time. Like not only, I mean, it's our 20th anniversary, which Lauren and I really celebrated before we left. And then, and we brought Piper because it's her fall break this week. And so we're just having a great time. And the way that the resort is put together, it's like there's a tower on the east side, tower on the west side, and then there's just pools all in the middle. There's like a whole snorkeling area. And then they also have a beach area too. So we've just been kind of running around doing stuff, but we rented a car too. And yesterday we just drove around the island. We kind of went everywhere, went up to some of the fun surf and popular surf spots like Pipeline and Sunset Beach and Waimea Bay. And it was just so cool, man. This island is beautiful. And so I think tomorrow we're going to go back over to the east shore because there's this ranch there that a lot of like the Jurassic Park scenes were filmed in. And it's like, it's so beautiful and green and lush on that side of the island. And it looks like you're in Lost or you're in Jurassic Park. And that's a lot of the places that they filmed, which is pretty interesting.
Yep.
So we're gonna go on this little like 6-man. They call it a Raptor. We're gonna go on this 6-man golf cart with Piper and Lauren and me.
Wow.
And we're gonna drive through like this valley where they filmed Jurassic Park and some stuff. So I'm kind of excited for that. And it's so cool. This state is awesome and this island is awesome, and we're just really enjoying it. We did a luau tonight, and it's just been super fun. So we're having some great family time here, and just really enjoying it. And the weather here is beautiful. It's just been like 81 degrees. There's a nice shore breeze, and it's just perfect. And just
nice.
Piper's having a good time. She got all dressed up. They kind of dolled her up at this little salon here, and right before the luau, so she had her hair braided and a little dress and everything, and it was just really cute. So yeah,
nice.
Just quality family time, really much needed and much deserved, and so we're having just an awesome time here. So
good, man.
So on the gaming front, it's Clash Royale, and that's about it.
I know that's right.
That's pretty much it. Before we left, I did get to do a little Overwatch with Lem, and
oh, nice.
And it was fun and frustrating all at the same time, but it's just great just to be able to jump on and boom.
Did he make you guys play Mystery Heroes again?
We didn't. We were actually, if I can remember, we were just doing
Chuggenstein's Revenge.
We were just doing I think some either arcade or I think we were just doing some quick play. And so I'm loving the Halloween event that they do, man. It's so clever how the loot boxes change up, and
this is the first event you've been a part of, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's one of the best ones, but they're all pretty dang good.
It really is, man. It really gets me in the holiday spirit because I love Halloween. It's like one of my favorite times of the year because it's a kickoff to like everything that happens. It's all fun and good, like Thanksgiving and Christmas, and Halloween really just kicks everything off. So it's a lot of fun. So,
there you go.
So yeah, man, that's it for me. I'm just sitting here chilling on a beach.
And you're 5 hours behind us, so it's a night show for you.
Yeah, so
you're talking to us in the future.
I'm talking in the past.
In the
actually.
past.
Oh wait, yeah, the past.
Talking in the past. So whatever you've done for the last 5 hours, I can correct them for you. Just let me know.
We won't tell you how the day is. We don't want to ruin it for you.
Yeah, we're your.
Yeah, please don't. Yeah, you are my future. So so it's great.
It was dark.
I'm so happy that I can jump on with you guys, and thanks for making it a morning show. And this is awesome.
Yeah, man. Of course. When you text us, it was like, I can do this thing. I was like, oh, snap.
Yep.
We're about to be covering the time zones of this thing.
Yeah, man. Well, everybody's like, our jet lag's pretty, I feel pretty good, and I can function pretty easily on short hours of sleep. But like, we've just been like, by 8:30, 9 o'clock, it's like, oh man, we're exhausted. So all the girls are out right now, and so it's super easy for me to just get a little work done, and then jump on with you guys. So it's perfect. It's worked out great.
Very nice.
Nice. Cool. I love that.
Man. Yeah, man.
Christopher.
Yeah.
You're not in Hawaii.
No. In fact, I'm going to have kind of the exact opposite of
great.
because I haven't been doing nothing.
Really?
Sweet.
Nice. Yeah, man. I mean, outside of work, man, it has been crazy here in terms of, you would almost think that the hurricane that had kind of went off this direction because it's just been nonstop rain here.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so I think it rained last Thursday and Friday a bit. It rained Saturday like all day long. On Sunday, it rained. It didn't most of the day. It was kind of stayed away a bit, just sprinkling here and there. And then in the evening, it started raining, and it's just been pretty much raining since then. And like this huge cold front came through. So the Monday, yesterday, and I think again today, the high's like 42 or something crazy, which I was not expecting.
Chilly.
And so I had, bust out puffy jacket and, get all this stuff ready because I'm not a fan of being cold. But outside of that, I mean, it's just go to work, come home. It's like stay out of the outdoors as much as possible because of the rain, which has been a huge problem for my dog because she just stares at, like, typically the way that it happens is whenever I get home from work, pretty much right away, I take her for a walk. And then, like, if it's the weekend, I walk her in the morning, and then I try to walk her again in the afternoon or sometime in the early evening. And so just around those times, she knows, and she's over there looking at me, and she's like messing with me, trying to think, are we going to go now? And then I just go open the door, and I'm like, all right, looky there. You want to go out in that? She sticks her head out, and it gets pelted a few times, and then just turns around and comes back in. So that's what I thought. That's why we're not out there right now. So she's got like this little ball of energy rolling around and just wanting to play constantly because she's not getting her walk. So I'm just trying to make sure that I spend some good time with her and not, because she's, especially during the day when I'm at work, I mean, she's just pinned up in here. I mean, she's able to roam the house. We don't have her in a crate, but I know she's just sleeping the whole time. I mean, she's got nothing to do. So I just, outside of just messing around with her and giving her some attention, that's pretty much all I've been doing. The one thing of note that I did do this week is on Sunday, I got to go meet up with somebody from our community because they were in town. Somebody had reached out to me. Yeah, it was Brian. He's at Silent Fury 007 on Twitter. And he lives in Seattle, but he had come down to San Antonio to like visit some friends and family, and then came up to the Dallas area because his parents live here, or at least his dad does. I don't know if his mother does as well, because I don't know if his family's separated or not. But he came up to visit his dad because it was his birthday. And so him and his brother and we're taking his dad to a Cowboys game here because the last game last weekend was in town. It was a home game for them. And so he hit me up and said, hey, I'm going to be in your part of town. I'll be keeping an eye out for that Tesla. And I was like, oh, well, why don't you hit me up when you get here if you have time? I mean, obviously, I don't know what your situation is. Maybe we can go meet up for like coffee or something. And it happened to work out. And so I met him up at this little coffee shop. And we just sat there and hung out for about an hour and a half. And it was just a really good time. Nice. We had a good conversation. We got to chat about all kinds of different things. And I did it since it wasn't raining super hard or anything like that. I drove the Tesla up there and I took him for a little quick ride in it. And he was all like, "Oh man, this is so cool!" And he'd never been in an electric car before. So for people that have never been in an electric car, and I had never been in one until my first Tesla test drive way back when, and I was like, "Oh, it's just a little bit different to like feel that instant torque when you hit the gas, or it's not even a gas pedal, really, the accelerator, I guess I should say. It's just different until you've kind of felt that, because I tell him, just like I tell everybody that I've taken a ride, it's like, and I have the slow one. Like, I don't even have a fast version of the car, and it feels like it just takes off like a rocket. So it's kind of crazy. So he was all enthused by that and everything, and then posted some pictures on Twitter. He has this really hilarious thing, and I told him this. I said, you're like, you do one of these things where you do something, and I thought about it, I was like, man, I wish I would have thought of that. He has this separate Twitter account where he takes pictures of himself, or like writes tweets and then takes a picture of himself, like a selfie, wherever he is and whatever he's doing. And he'll be all enthusiastic, but he just looks so like demoralized in the picture. And I just think it's hilarious. And I was like, man, I wish I would have done that. So we took one photo. He's like, oh my gosh, I got to take a ride, and Chris's Tesla was amazing. It's all excited, has all these exclamation points. He took his picture, and we're both just like the most sad looking people ever. And I just thought it was absolutely hilarious. He's like, I was like, man, I wish I would have thought of doing an account like that beforehand, because I think it was a cool idea. But that was pretty much it. So outside of that, it's been nothing but gaming. I did dabble a little bit more with Forza Horizon 4, but I've not jumped back into it as much as I want. I am planning to get back to it at some point. The good thing about it is that it feels like the kind of game where you don't really need to focus in on it. You can just kind of come and go as you please. It feels very casual, kind of like an Overwatch or anything else. So I know I'm going to jump back in at some point. I don't feel like, oh my gosh, I've got to progress the story that I'm missing out on necessarily, even though there are some kind of story-esque stuff going on in it. And then a little bit of Overwatch as well, especially last night since the arcade loot boxes reset. I was working on Stacy's account, trying to get her
very nice
3 loot boxes. And then maybe again tonight I'll jump over to my account once I finish out on hers. But the rest of the time has been pretty much Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Nice.
I've kind of finally gotten in a little bit of a situation where I feel like, okay, I feel like I understand everything that's going on. I feel like I kind of understand the story, and I'm playing as Cassandra, kind of understand her motivations a bit more, and I know what else is going on. Because the last Assassin's Creed that I played was Syndicate. Ooh, so I didn't play Origins, which I know this one's a little bit more akin to Origins in the terms of that, like with Origins, as I understand it, that's when like the controls really changed and it added in all the RPG elements, which now is even more RPG elements than even in Origins. But to me, going from, 3 games back or whatever, a Syndicate to this is like a big jump. So it just took me a little while to get my head wrapped around how the controls work and then the different systems and whatnot. But I kind of feel like I've hit my stride a bit now. And I'm kind of going around and I'm enjoying it so far. That's another weird thing is that I feel like everybody that I do know that is playing it, I think everybody's playing as Cassandra, which kind of makes you feel like, well, why? I mean, I guess it doesn't hurt to have a second option, but it almost just feels like they should have just done Cassandra. I mean, it's a little
why do
bit
you
strange.
think that is? Because I've noticed that too, but I didn't know why. Is it the exact
why people
same
are playing
story?
as her, or why they gave you 2 options?
Is it no? Why people are playing as her so heavily? Like, is it the same story, just different people, or do you think it's because they've shown her so much in the commercials?
I think if I had to guess, just my gut tells me that the reason so many people played it is because a few years back, I think it was with Unity, Assassin's Creed, the Ubisoft, they said like, oh, we can't make female character models because they're a lot harder and take more time. So I think this is more of like a stick it to the sea. We told you should have let us play as girls, and now they're all just playing that way. I feel like that's kind of a bit of a stick it to them kind of thing, or show them that, see, we told you this is what we wanted. Thanks for giving it to us kind of thing.
Was that the same thing with Origins?
I don't know if I just remember that being a big to do with Unity, because Unity was one where you could have like 4 people, but there were no female options.
That's right. That's a good point.
Yeah, which they also had that with Syndicate, but I don't know.
Which one was the one where you could choose the brother or the sister?
That was Syndicate. And that was the one right after Unity, I believe.
Oh, okay, got you.
With this one, they had said that Cassandra is the canon character for Assassin's Creed.
Oh, I did hear that. That's right.
That's
makes
why
sense.
I chose her.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't.
I chose her simply because, I mean, obviously, as with every game, like it's a fantasy world, and like you're going back into like Sparta and all these kinds of things. And I just thought, well, I don't know a ton about history, but I was like, I bet there weren't a lot of female Spartan heroes. It's like, so I want to go full fantasy, and I want to play as a lady Spartan in this Spartan world. I just thought that was a cool idea.
Nice.
And then when you saw it the first time they did it, I think it was E3 is when we first saw it that one time. And then they showed like the kick animation and everything. And I just thought it was awesome seeing this lady like kicking people off the ledge. It's like, I want to do that with that character. And so that's why I chose her.
That's awesome.
But it pretty much wasn't anything else other than that. But
because I don't know if I've seen not one clip of that Spartan kick and it being a boy.
Yeah.
Like just as I've like scrolled through whatever, like every time I've seen that kick, it's Cassandra. So I didn't know if you played both at some time and maybe you started out with her or whatever. But that's pretty cool.
You choose early on. You choose. I don't know. It's one of the few areas, at least so far in the game. I'm not super far in where you're right at the beginning. You're outside of the Animus or whatever in the real world, the modern day, the stuff they should probably get rid of at some point. And
that's not gone yet.
It's barely there. It's like what? 2 or 3 minutes maybe.
Oh,
have you?
Okay.
Sorry to jump ahead of it, but are you still going with it, or are you done with it? Did you finish it?
I did not finish it. No.
Okay, so that was gonna be my question, because I'm curious. I'm like, it seems like most people are saying, oh, there's very little Animus, which is kind of what I expected. But I wonder if it'd be one of those things where like, oh, but the last quarter of the game, like it's really heavily outside the Animus. I'm kind of expecting that, even though I don't know if that's the way it's gonna go. I'm just like, I better not get my hopes up too much. I feel like there's probably gonna be some big like email reading session I'm gonna get to here soon. But the only thing about the game so far that I don't, well, there's a few things. One, I will say, I think part of what kind of was a slow going for me in the beginning is I think it's just really hard, and it's not necessarily fair to play a multi-platform game, even if it's a AAA game, right after you've played a really good first-party game that's like exclusive to one console, because even if it's like a Xbox game, like if I were to play Project Cars or whatever, and then compare that to Forza, like Forza is going to be way better because it's just they can just focus in on the one platform and they're just always way more polished. When I first started playing it, I still kind of feel a little bit of that weird AC, not jank's not the right word, but it's just every now and then it's like, oh, now I'm climbing up that ledge. I meant to go this way, but that's what I'm doing now. I still feel like I get a little bit of those kinds of things. And then on the cutscenes, even though overall like the character models and everything look good, the mouths just work a little weird to me. And honestly, like it probably wouldn't be so obvious to me if I hadn't just played Spider-Man that has these amazing facial animations and really super smooth gameplay that just really is fluid and works very well. So it's not really like fair to say. I'm not saying that they did a bad job with this game, because they didn't. And especially now that I've been playing for probably 4 or 5 hours or so, I don't necessarily notice any of that stuff anymore. Now I'm just into the thick of like unlocking the traits and the abilities that I want to have, and how am I going to take down this outpost when there's a guy over there that's 2 levels above me, and then a guy over there that's 1 level above me, and I got to make sure they don't find me, and that kinds of stuff, which is what I wanted to get into and what I was trying to finally get to the point of. The one other thing so far, and I don't know if this is going to be the way throughout the entire game, that I'm not really feeling is, so you find these different outposts and stuff as you start to open up the map. And I found this one, and it had all these guys on there, and there's these things, objectives I need to do inside there. But everybody was like way stronger than me. They were like 2 levels above me. I was like, all right, I'll be back whenever I get a little stronger. I came back like 4 levels higher. I'm like, all right, I'm going to be able to take down that thing easy. And everybody had leveled up with me.
They leveled with you. Yeah.
And I was like, I was like, what? I was like, wait a minute. But
I hate that.
I want to go in. I want to be able to go to places and be like, man, I came back when I was stronger, so that I can really wreck shop here. And I don't mind if there's like 1 or 2 people that are my same level. But if I go there and everybody was level 7, now I'm a 12, and they're like, oh, guess what? We're 12s too. That just kind of, that's a bit of a bummer.
They've been in the gym. They just went to the gym.
I mean, yeah, I guess so.
But that happened in Witcher 3 too, didn't? Oh wait, Chris, you didn't play that, did you?
No, yeah, I didn't play The Witcher.
Yeah, because I'm almost positive as you leveled. I mean, your enemies leveled too, not to the same amount that you did, but it was close, and they just wanted to keep it even. I've never really had a problem with it, but I think for me, that's when you focus on, okay, what weapons do I have, or what additional possible add-ons that I have to give me just a little bit more of an edge, so I can try and beat these people. But yeah, I'm with you. It can be very frustrating, especially when you have to go back, and you're progressing in one area, and then you're like, oh man, well I can go back and do that. But if you don't want to do it, I
would
totally
say
get it.
that particular outpost that I'm talking about, the first time I went there, I tried it anyways. I was like, all right, I'm going to do this because there are a few guys that are my level, but I just didn't quite understand how to get around the outpost without being noticed. So eventually I ended up having 7 guys come after me. Now I feel like I know the routes to go and how to get to take them out one by one and still not get seen. So I can whittle them down and then take on like maybe 2 guys that are a level or 2 above me. And that's a little bit easier to take on. But at the beginning, when I came to that outpost, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to come back here when I'm stronger, because this is just not doable. And so when I came back and it was they were higher, they had re-leveled with me. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to beat this stupid outpost. Of course, now I kind of know what to do. I've got some more abilities and everything like that. My gear's a little bit stronger. So it's not like the end of the world at all, but I was so excited when I was like, oh yeah, there's that outpost. I'm going to go destroy them. And then I was just kind of, I guess because I'm not just going to destroy them. I'll have to sneak around and be quiet about this. But outside of that, I'm really enjoying it. And that's I think that's the only thing that I've been pretty much playing. Yeah, outside of the dabbling a bit more with the Overwatch. So, and then going forward the rest of the week, that's my plan, is just play more AC and more Overwatch. So
nice.
That's perfect.
Edward.
Yes, sir.
What about you, man?
Sarah's home, you guys.
That's right. She's home.
A bachelor no more.
A bachelor no more.
Change that toilet paper roll, sir.
Yeah. There goes. Right. There goes. Stock up on TP, baby. Here we go.
That's right. Sweep up that Dorito dust.
That's right. Mama's back.
Yeah, exactly.
Pizza boxes better be gone.
Exactly. But Sarah got in Sunday afternoon, and it's just been great having her back again.
That was a great picture you guys put up.
Yeah.
Wherever it was that I saw it. I was like, look at those 2 guys. Get out of here.
Right.
We need Sadie in that picture.
And in love.
Yeah.
Right. Catching up on our SNL together.
There you go.
Yeah, it's just been nice having her back and kind of getting into a routine and what have you. So it's been awesome. She had a great time while she was gone. But yeah, she's definitely, whenever she takes these long trips, she goes in thinking this is going to be great, and she comes back and she's like, why was it that long?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I was like, you and me both, baby. You and me both. Let's see, Saturday before she came home, the Tapmans came over and had a little game night. Nathan played a little more Spider-Man. He hadn't played in a month, and he struggled for a month trying to get the controls back down.
I know that's right.
And while we were playing a little bit of Trials co-op, and at one point he said, why did we never play the first Borderlands all the way through because I had seen that they were releasing Borderlands 2 in VR.
Yes.
And really stoked about that and was telling him about that. And he said, why did we never play the first Borderlands? And I said, oh, because every time we would play, it wouldn't save, because he would have to sign in as a guest. It wouldn't save his information. And so we'd always have to start from the beginning. And he said, one of these days, I've got some vacation days. We should just play it until we beat it. And his wife was like, what was that? Vacation day for what? So that may or may not happen.
Pretty sure,
I know that's
pretty
right.
sure that ain't happening.
But it was a good time.
That sounds like they need to get 2 cars.
Yeah,
Exactly. Right. Played.
I'll drive separate.
Our house is only a 20-minute walk.
Not gonna get away with my good time.
That's right.
Vacation day.
He take a vacation from everything.
That's right.
Oh man.
That's good.
It was fun hopping into Overwatch this week. Got to play with Gabe and Chris at the same time even.
I know.
And that was always fun.
Oh, man.
And I want to note,
One of these days.
not because I'm any good at Overwatch, number one. I'm not that good.
Yes.
But you guys did say you were losing all night
Yes.
until your
we were.
boys showed up. We started.
That's-
It's just the power of friendship.
That's right. Sheldor showed up and the tables turned.
That's right. Bad Gamer Elite showed up.
Right.
Yep. That is the exact opposite of
Chilling
what happens when I show
chilling
up.
outside the point.
Exactly. Little spawn camping. Little hitting people so hard they disintegrate.
Yeah, he was handling with that sniper rifle.
But yeah, played a little more Forza Horizon 4, and by playing a little more, checking in a couple times a day to get my influence points that I've been farming watching that website.
That's hilarious.
It's so funny.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey, still going through that, still taking my time. Like Chris said, this week I found myself frustrated with the game when I would go back, and I also this week found things leveling up with me, and just like, oh, come on, I don't mind. Like in the beginning, things are easy and you gradually get harder, but I want to kind of go back and like, I'm going to go back to that easy part I couldn't do before, and now I'll really be good. And oh, wait, you were a 4, now you're a 13 as well? Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a little, I feel your pain on that one, Chris.
Yeah.
And it was a little frustrating for me just because, I've been streaming it, and I don't know if it's a Twitch thing or an Xbox thing, but neither company will change it. But there's a streaming bar that shows up on my screen. It doesn't go up on the feed, that has like how long you've been streaming, the number of people watching, what have you. And it's just long enough and wide enough that it exactly covers up my health and stamina bar.
Oh,
What?
no.
And
Wow.
so the entire time, especially if I'm fighting a really tough
You have no
villain
idea.
or a bunch of villains, I have no idea what my health is.
Mm.
And they do have
That
a
is
thing
weird.
that kind of like this, your screen gets like red around the edges when you're getting hurt a lot. But at the same time, I don't know how hurt I am. And I've been all over the internet, and it's just like, nope, it's just always there. And so that's, and that's the first time I've encountered it where it really affected my gameplay, and just kind of like, I'm just frustrated with this game. And I have to remember, it's not the game. It's either Twitch or Xbox. I'm not sure which one it is.
Huh.
But yeah,
Well,
it's either the Twitch
Do
app
you ever
or
see that bar? Because I haven't done it in forever, but do you ever see that bar when you stream to Twitch from the PlayStation?
on the PlayStation, the only time anything shows up is if someone signs in or if someone leaves a comment. It pops up in the upper right corner for a couple seconds and then it goes away.
Then yeah,
Hmm.
I would assume that's something set up on the Xbox side, the way that it streams from, because you're doing it from the console, right? Isn't did you say
Right,
that?
right.
Maybe it's just some weird status bar, so they're like, "Oh, this is so your bandwidth is still good," or I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, but yeah, it's kind of it was a little frustrating this week. I had to kill a couple sharks. And
Oh,
yeah, buddy.
You know,
Shark Week for Ed.
I had this mission. I got this one early on. There was one of those shark ones, and I swam out to the area, and I just totally got the thing I needed and left. And the sharks never even saw me. I didn't have to touch them.
yeah, see, I feel like that would happen with you.
I was so shocked. I finally got a spear. I'm like, all right, I'm going to poke some sharks, and then I never had to do anything.
See,
Poke
and
some
this mission,
sharks.
it was to kill 2 sharks.
Oh,
And so I
Oh, boy.
wasted maybe 1,000 arrows just shooting from the shore, and I killed them both. But it took
Ah,
a
nice.
long
Amazing.
time. 'Cause
Oh,
And
I
that
was
is
not
so funny.
That's good, man.
That's a problem.
I know.
Mhm.
Ah,
He can't even
I
get
hate
in the
it.
water. He's got to shoot from the shore.
I hate it. I was so
Oh,
nervous when I
it's great.
decided I was going to do the mission. The whole time I'm like, okay, well maybe we'll pass something on the way there that we can do.
I know that's right.
Maybe I'll come across a harpooning vessel.
That's right. That's right. Yesterday, Lego DC Villains came out,
Yeah, buddy.
and oh my gosh, I love the Lego games, and I always gush about them, but this is amazing. It is just, it's so much fun playing as villains.
Yeah.
And especially after coming from the Spider-Man, where you're helping out the cops and what have you,
Yeah.
the fact that you are beating up cops,
Lego cops.
Lego cops.
Yeah.
Or
It's not
it's
as
like,
serious.
there's Nightwing and Batgirl. Let's get them.
That's so great.
It's so much fun.
That's funny.
That's
Uh,
great.
The storyline is really, really good. It's a really nice premise they have. And
Can
they
you share with us what it is a little bit?
Basically, the Justice League is kidnapped and taken away to taken away somewhere. We don't even know where. And they're replaced with, what is it? The Justice. It's not department, but it's kind of like the bizarro world of the Justice League.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's like Ultraman, the Sea King, Supergirl, not Supergirl. But it's like the opposite of Wonder Woman.
Mm.
Batman's opposite is Owlman.
Oh my
like-
gosh.
Fast
Jeez.
Steve or something instead of the Flash. It's just really,
Oh,
it's
that's
really
funny.
well done.
That's
and
great.
It's really cool because, of course, they always have great voice actors. But the fact that they have Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill as Batman and the Joker,
They are really
Oh, wow.
and
like
it's
they went
crazy.
and got the guys.
They went and got the guys. So it's crazy hearing like the serious Batman and Joker in like Lego form. It's
Right.
pretty
I was gonna say-
daunting. But it's so much fun. Oh my
I think
gosh.
I'd rather have the Zach Galifianakis Joker versus the Mark Hamill Joker if that was the case.
It's so fun. Oh man, they did such a good job with it. And
So cool.
It's so
So
crazy.
cool.
We've talked about this before, I think, but when we talked to Troy and he talked about doing the Joker, he was saying how hard it was to keep up with Mark Hamill because Mark Hamill's voice is already kind of high. And so for him to do that laugh and do the Joker, he said it's no problem for Mark Hamill. But Troy Baker said he could only do it for like 2 hours a session. He was
Wow.
like, I can do it for 2 hours, then I have to stop because it just would tear up his voice so much.
Right.
To have that cackle and that all that, junk in his
Right.
voice that high. And so listening to it now after talking to Troy, you're like, yeah, I can see that because Mark
Makes sense.
kills that thing.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, it's been such a good time. Sarah and I have been playing it off stream, and then I've been playing it on the stream just solo, and it's just been so much fun. So
That's
that
awesome.
is definitely, if you had any, it's the first Lego game I've played where people would comment and say, and after watching it, saying, "I need to get this game."
Wow.
So it's been really cool to see. And then yesterday, Jackbox Party Pack 5
Yes!
dropped.
Oh,
Yay,
I want to
there
know
it
all
is.
about it.
Okay.
I was so mad that I couldn't play last night. I saw the email and I was like, no, of course, I'm the one who's always asking for Jackbox, not on Friday. Here it is on a
Yeah.
Tuesday,
Right.
and I can't play.
Okay, we'll start with You Don't Know Jack.
All right.
Okay.
And they have
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
exactly. They have, there were 2 games on You Don't Know Jack that did not really translate well to online streaming. It was the Dis or Dats and the Final Jack Attacks, just because the lag
Yes,
killed
that's right.
I
those,
believe it.
those 2 things.
Mm.
And they have come up with a workaround that is incredible. They do such a good job.
The heck
and
with those guys.
they do. It's just they tweaked it just enough where it's perfect, and it's
What
so
is it
much,
now since it's not time based?
what they do is they send to everyone's devices maybe like fruits that grow on a tree, and they send the topic to everyone's device as well as like 12 options, and you have to pick the ones that match the category. Not all of them do.
Right. Like
and
watermelon.
So, right. Exactly. So the fact that the question and the answers are all on your device, that makes it nice.
Got you.
And the
Okay.
dis or dats are kind of the same way as well. So they do a great job with that. There was one game I didn't play just because it's not one that you can play online because of the lag. So that's the only one. I forget even offhand what it's called, but that's the only one we didn't play. There's one called Patently Stupid, where everyone submits a problem and then other people submit a solution. And like it was last night, my problem is I think blank is too cold, and someone had written in ice. So we all had to come up with a solution for ice being too cold, and you have to draw a diagram.
Awesome.
And it was just, and then you present, you can either have them present it for you, or you can do it yourself, which is where it would help to have people in party chat or in person, because you can talk yourself and just kind of like, well, this is a mini bake oven for ice, and it looks like this, and that kind of a thing. And
I got you.
That one's a lot of fun. What was I was trying to save my favorite one for last. Oh man. Well, my favorite one was called I don't even remember what it's called. It's basically a rap battle.
Oh,
It is
come on.
amazing.
Jeez.
Oh, it basically it's everyone has a robot that raps for you. Whatever rap you write, the robot actually says.
Oh my gosh.
And they pit you against another player, and they'll say it's kind of like Mad Libs. They'll say, "Give me a noun, proper name of a place."
Mm-hmm.
And so I put in Chicago, and that's right. Okay, now they make a line with, "I'm the greatest in Chicago," and then you have to write the second line that rhymes with that.
Oh my gosh.
Oh wow.
And so you have basically 4 lines that you will rap battle against another player who has 4 lines and different prompts. And it is so much fun. It was such a good time playing that. And the whole time I'm like, I can't wait to play this with people I know. I was playing it pretty much with people that were strangers last night, and was looking forward to that. Oh, and the final game is called Split the Room. And it's basically... It said, would you rather have the power of every time you sneeze, bees come out your nose, or blank? And you have to write an answer that you think will split the votes of people.
Oh, wow.
Oh, so you can't make it too good, like fly, because then everybody chooses fly over
Exactly.
bees coming out your nose.
Exactly. So someone was like, oh, when you cough, flies come out, or something like that.
Oh,
So
okay. Yeah.
it's one of those games that it's easy to understand, but it's really tough to figure out how to approach it, and it's really clever. So man, Jackbox nailed it again.
So that shouldn't be like 2 times a week, you don't think? Like Jackbox?
I mean,
I'm so
it's gonna
jealous.
be a few times a week this week. I'm telling you that right now.
Okay.
Oh, I'm so
Good.
excited.
So yes, that was my week. Good week.
Oh,
That's awesome.
that does sound like a good week. Sarah came home and Jackbox came out. Now, did we know Jackbox was coming out this week? Because I feel like I did.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I knew Ed knew. I just hadn't seen it anywhere that, like, I knew that it was coming, but I didn't know what date it was coming.
Oh, okay. Right.
And so it dropped on a Tuesday, not a Friday.
Yeah.
Like the
How much
olden
is it
days.
if you
I was going to say,
like the good old days.
I can't figure out still what the release day is, if it's Tuesday or Friday.
Yeah.
Well,
That'd be things we're
it's so funny
telling our
because
grandkids.
there's a couple that are still coming out on Tuesdays, like Lego DC Supervillains came out on the 16th, and like you would think that's kind of a bigger game. You think that would come out on Friday. It's all kinds of messed up. I'll never understand it.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm thrilled that you're loving that though, Ed. That's so awesome.
So much fun.
Can't wait to play it. All right, Mr. Patilla, what you got?
Oh man, it's been a full week, I think, since I got home off the road. By the way, Edward,
Yes.
my hat comes off to you, and or I tip it to you. You guys got to understand what happens when there's technical difficulties or somebody's mic is acting up or whatever. For the editor, it just makes it so much harder to do. It's not as easy as like plug, go, just take out the sneezes. Like it makes it so difficult. So I know all about it. So Edward edited the podcast last week, and I say thank you so much.
Yeah, buddy.
I was on the road driving down the street, and so man, just really grateful that we have this team of guys and that I can pass that to Ed and know that it's not gonna sound any different. It's gonna sound like
thanks, man.
a regular show, and you killed it, man. So thank you so much.
Until the day comes that I have to edit this show, then it's gonna sound way different. All right,
And
line up, and everything stays. Hope you didn't say anything controversial.
And if I ever have to edit, that's when the podcast is over.
There's no musical bumpers. It's just
Nope,
it just
nothing.
goes straight through. Let's get into some questions. Well, from Jared Orr. Yeah.
It's just an episode of WTF with Mark Maron.
There it is.
Yeah, we just
That's right.
repost an old one, an older bit of goodie. That's hilarious.
That's awesome.
So yeah, got back home on Friday, and that same night, I got to meet up with Eric Thompson, our captain.
Oh, very cool.
Extra
nice.
Life. Got to sit with him for a bit. We did the same thing. Went to a cigar bar and just hung out. Had some smokes. Had some drinks. And it's funny meeting up with Eric because a lot of people, especially in our Discord, know Eric because of Extra Life and how he's helped us out the last 2 years. I think it's been that he's been the captain of Married to the Game's Extra Life.
Sounds right.
But when we get together, we don't even talk about Extra Life. Like we talk about Extra Life for like 5 minutes, get all the details out of the way, make sure that everything's lined up the way it's supposed to be, that we like the ideas that we're presenting. And, I'll be sending these guys texts at the same time. And then the rest of the time, man, we just talk about life. We talk about faith. And it's like, just he is so great to just sit down and talk life with because
Nice.
I think because he means it. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially when we
man.
talk about faith and things like that and diving deep into, and so everybody else, it's really funny because we're in the cigar bar and we're just surrounded by like yelling and laughing. And we're over in the corner like, I know, right? And if you really think about it, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're over there going
awesome.
deep. And so I always enjoy our time. So we had one last new release event with Toby. So I went straight from the Top Golf in Nashville straight over to this cigar bar. I forget what it was called, but it was awesome. And sat and talked for, maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours or something like that before I had to
very
call
cool.
it. I was so exhausted because we had just got home that day from off the road. But yeah, that was a great time. Last night was the Gospel Music Association's Dove Awards. And so that's like the Christian Grammys kind of thing. And so that was great. My mom is the president of GMA, and so she actually throws the Dove Awards. So it's one of those things like I think I would still go to, but probably not every year, like when we don't perform. But because she throws them, I go even on the years that we're not performing. And it was really great. And so
Did you perform?
no.
Nice.
No, they did last year.
Yeah. And so we just got to sit and enjoy it. And me and the wife went. And so, and as parents, any night that you can kind of get a babysitter and head out is nice. And so we watched For King and Country open the show, and Lauren Daigle closed the show, and she was awesome. Tori Kelly was there. She sang.
Oh, nice.
She was incredible. Rascal Flatts was there. They sang with Jason Crabb. So I'm not a huge country fan, so I don't really remember Rascal Flatts that much. That Joker could sing. Lord have mercy. Like it's not the tone of voice I'd be drawn to just because it's a little narrow and it's
It's
he's
country.
got that. Yeah, it's country. It's got that twang on it. But that Joker, you could tell he grew up listening to some R&B because some of those runs he was doing was not country runs.
Is that right?
Yeah, and
Nice.
so it was just really cool to see the continued growth of the Christian music industry in the sense to where Tori's showing up and what's that really tall country guy who's got that really, really deep voice.
He
wears the cowboy hat. Nope.
Sheldon?
Josh.
Huh?
Or not
Where's
Sheldon.
the cowboy
What's his-
hat?
I know it doesn't
Exactly.
help. But
Trace Atkins.
Trace Atkins.
There you go.
Wow.
That
You're
guy's
welcome.
voice. Lord have mercy. He came out and presented, and I was like, I shouldn't do VO anymore. I'm probably gonna quit
Yeah,
because
that boy. That boy's voice is deep.
That thing is in the basement.
Yep.
So he was there and presented an award. So it was just kind of like cool to be there. It's cool for my mom. It's cool to go support. And, after, words and seeing her and being like, you did it again. She's like, it's over. I can't believe it. So it's just like another good year of it going by. As far as gaming, I've been playing that Black Ops 4.
Ooh, nice.
That's right. You're our token Black Ops guy. That came out very weird. I apologize.
That's amazing.
I should have just stopped at you're our token Black. Wow.
Token Black Ops. Oh, that's funny. That's really funny how that worked
even
out.
in Hawaii, I'm still racist. It's great.
I know. You can take the man out of the South, but you can't take the South out of the man. So we I've been playing that. It's really great. I'm waiting for kind of like all my boys to get it now because doing, and me and Chris have talked about this before, doing the Battle Royale, it's finally what I've been waiting for out of a Battle Royale. Like every time I play one, I just want one to play like Call of Duty. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, I wish I could play this. Then it felt like Call of Duty. And so there's a lot, anytime I feel like you're going from, especially, the last one was World War II and this one's Black Ops. So it's modern, but it's not like the future stuff. So there's not like a bunch to do, but it still always takes some getting used to as far as like knowing all the things you're using and what the, perks are and the score streaks and the guns and stuff like that. So, but it's really fun and it feels like it doesn't feel as so I've been getting slaughtered in Blackout. That's what their battle royale is called.
Sure.
But even when I'm getting beat, it doesn't feel like it's not attainable, like a win. You know what I'm saying? It feels like, oh no, I just need to get this under my fingers a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But because it's Black Ops, your walking is real like loud, it feels like. So it's like, it's going. You're like, geez. Where like in H1 or in Fortnite, it's like, tuk, 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 you know what I'm saying? Just kind of like running around. And if somebody's in a building above you, then you might hear them. This one's like, if you're in a building and somebody's coming outside, you're like, let's go. You can hear them coming. So I'm always looking for that. Like, how do I take off my shoes? Because you can take off your shoes in H1. It'd be a little quieter in the PC version.
Oh, that's funny.
But really enjoying it. Looks great and stuff
you don't
like
mind
that.
like no campaign or anything? Because I know you used to love the Black Ops campaigns.
You know what? Of course, I kind of still wish there was one there, and I would probably play it. But I've noticed that when I got done with the campaign, World War II, which I did really, really late. World War II, all I really did was the multiplayer.
Yeah, you did jump on that quite a bit.
Yeah, just for playing with Sammy and Ryan and Dustin, some of the guys on the road. Like I only did that, and I think I played the campaign like in the last 3 months or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
I posted it on the Twitter at some point of the credits because I beat it, but all I really did was the multiplayer. So I guess this is not going to feel too different. You just don't have that option. So anyway, feels good, looks good. And it's kind of it's weird what Chris was saying about Assassin's Creed, because I just seeing a little Assassin's Creed, you do sometimes feel like when things are cross-platform, it lacks a little bit of the sheen that that a single console game, but not Call of Duty. I feel like that game just looks good wherever you play it at. Yeah, and so but they've dialed that in over years and years and years as well. But it just feels good, looks right. There's a couple things like a grappling hook that can kind of send you flying, or I think there's like a little jetpack that lets you like jump a little bigger. It's not like you can fly, but I think it's more like a long leap or something like that. I'm not sure. I haven't uncovered everything, but feels right, man. Loving it. So this last week has just been going, man. Back in the swing of things, school and being a dad, and we've got rehearsals coming up next week, and then we go out on the road in November. So about to crank it back up.
Dang, man, it's going to be here before you know it, too.
Woo. I know. And then we just roll into, we go out right after Halloween, then Thanksgiving, then Christmas. And so every year I say this, I want to try to take it slow, but when you're in tour mode, it's tough.
Yeah.
So anyway, really liking The Elements, Toby's new CD that came out. So been listening to that. Obviously, I've been listening because I have to learn the songs, but
that would help.
also to support. And, he's a mainstay in our industry. So it's always good to hear what he does against
he's
what
getting
everybody
good
else
reviews
does.
too, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He usually does. So that's
awesome.
great. Yeah. Good
Yeah.
for
One
him.
of my buddies called me yesterday. He was like, so I guess you're not retiring anytime soon.
There
And
you
I was
go.
like, I know,
Nice.
right? He hasn't done that just phone it in album yet. To where you're like, oh, okay, he wasn't even really trying. So yeah, been fun. Router
Yes, sir.
from Hawaii, you got this thing?
Aloha.
Well, let's do it.
All right. As our boy Ed said, Lego DC Supervillains for the PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Starlink Battle for Atlas for the PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. The Hunter Call of the Wild 2019 for the PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Warriors Orochi 4 for the PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Valkyria Chronicles for the Switch. Heavy Fire Red Shadow for the PC, PS4, PSVR, and Xbox One. We got some DLC for For Honor, Marching Fire. That's for the PC, PS4, Xbox One. That's one of those games where I've always wanted to try it and just never did. But
Don't do it.
Okay, great. Never mind.
It's on Game Pass.
Nope, don't have it. Oh,
I
well.
did sign up for Game Pass this last weekend.
Hey,
There you go.
There you
Play
go.
everything.
Holy crap, what a deal.
Nice.
Right?
That's
Jeez
awesome.
Louise.
Okay, NBA 2K Playgrounds 2 for the PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Siberia 3 for the Switch. The Room for the Switch. Gabe, I remember you played that on your phone, didn't you? The Room?
Yeah, on the iPad.
iPad, that's right.
Yeah, I love those games.
Yeah, you love those
Right.
games.
But
Those are
the
good
problem
games.
is, so this is out for the Switch. That hopefully they roll them out, but there's 3
Yeah.
The Rooms
Right.
on iOS.
Yeah.
So it feels like a little late to the party.
Time to
but
catch up,
that's all right.
Nintendo.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Put
Well,
all
I mean,
three
that's kind of, happening a bunch lately for them. But,
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yes.
Pad the library, get some stuff there. It's good.
yeah, they're definitely.
How many times do we see Limbo get re-released? Like, Limbo on this. It's like, okay, well,
I know.
I mean, guess it needs to
on
be
for
everywhere.
the Switch?
Yeah, on the
Yeah.
TI 800.
Exactly. Yeah, I feel like I say Switch a lot for the past couple of weeks. I think they're just really trying to get their library up and running. So
Yeah.
we'll continue the trend. Moto Racer 4 for the Switch. Dark,
New on the Switch. Calculator.
Yeah, exactly. Snake
Dark,
for the Switch.
here's one. Dark Souls Remastered for the Switch.
Oh,
Hey,
There you go. Tied Together for the Switch. The Dark Souls trilogy for the PS4 and Xbox One as well. And Soul Calibur 6 for the PC, PS4, and Xbox One.
man, I used to love Soul Calibur.
There you go.
There you go. We had no oops, and we will have NPD for September next week because all the reporting is in for this week, and now they're just putting it all together, and so we'll have our sales for September for next week, which I'm very excited for.
There you
That is
go.
it for me. Back to you.
Chris McCracken.
okay. Over the weekend, I started seeing on Twitter. I don't know if you guys saw this, but just various people were saying like, "Hey, I'm hearing that if you get this certain message on your PlayStation and then you open it, it can brick your console." And
Yep.
I saw one person tweet like, "Hey, this happened to a buddy of mine," and then I feel like I saw it again, and then I ended up seeing it like 4 or 5 different times throughout,
That's right.
Saturday and Sunday. And then PlayStation came out and actually it was the PlayStation UK account. They came out and made a statement and they said they basically acknowledged the issue and said that we've since fixed the issue. It wasn't bricking consoles, just sending them into a crash loop. They can be
Yes.
fixed quickly within 5 minutes. Their solution is, or their solution was for you to handle on your side anyways, was to delete the message that was sent to you via the PS mobile app, which is not that bad. Then go into safe mode, use option 5, and reboot the console as normal. I didn't get this, and another kind of quick fix that people were saying were like, hey, because one thing that you can do in PlayStation Network, and I'm sure you can do it on Xbox and most other systems as well, is you can set your messages to where you can only receive messages from friends, because more than likely your buddy's not going to intentionally send you something that crashes your console. But they said that they've issued a fix, and I have not seen or any kind of firmware update, so I'm assuming that kind of means that maybe this was
The
something
back
they were
end.
able to fix on like server side.
Mhm.
So I don't really know, unless there's I don't know if like for little tiny updates, maybe they can just push them to your console if you leave it like in rest mode and it just updates in the background. It's not something you have to initiate like a big system one. Maybe something like that is a thing that has happened. But basically, Sony's just saying, hey, this is taken care of now, and you don't really have to worry about it. And it's good to know that it wasn't actually bricking it. It was just putting in this weird crash loop. Not that you necessarily know any differences. You just know when you try to boot it up, the thing doesn't do anything. Or it just
some
goes
people
and then
too
crashes.
felt like it was quote unquote bricking it, which number one, bricking it is a really tall task. Like that's when your console, you have to throw it in the trash. That's what bricking is. But some people were having to do a system reset to where they had to go back to the default settings and erase everything and stuff like that. So I think that's why I think that's how that bricking thing kind of got out there, because it definitely wasn't bricked, but some people didn't know how to get out of that loop, which made you feel like it was bricked for sure.
Yeah, so early on, like you were saying, there were people that's how they were getting around it, was completely resetting their system of factory settings. And it turns out that you didn't necessarily have to go to that step if you just went through like your PS mobile app and deleted the message there. But of course, a lot of people early on when it was happening didn't understand what the heck was even happening. They just knew like all of a sudden my console's shutting off and then I can't ever boot it. It starts to boot up and then stops again. They don't really know what's going on. So luckily, it seems like this is all taken care of and not an issue anymore. It's still a little bit weird that just by opening a message that has some weird character in it or something that it could jack something up. But computers are weird.
I've only seen one screenshot of the messages, and I've heard that them coming in a lot of different forms. But I heard one guy was saying that it was just a bunch of smiley faces, and next thing he knows, his PlayStation's going on a loop. And then I saw one that was like 3 hearts. And so I don't know what geniuses figured what out, but that's tough, man. To send somebody into a crash loop from a message, that is incredible.
Yeah.
I don't, I've tried to look around and see like what it was.
I haven't seen it either.
That's at least a silver trophy for them.
At least.
Right. At least.
Jeez.
So it's just, people are crazy, and, sometimes you use your craziness for good, sometimes you use it for bad. But man, oh man, I don't even know how you
that's impressive.
Figure that out.
I don't either.
So, but I'm glad that they got that fixed.
Yeah, agreed.
Discord has officially launched their game store. And so we know that we talked about it a few months ago about them talking about launching a store that would take on Steam, and they opened it up in Canada first, and now they've got 22 titles on there, including 5 titles that are labeled first on Discord. So that's kind of cool.
Exclusive.
Yeah, exactly. So they're coming out the gate swinging. And so we talked about back then how they're already implementing kind of when somebody was playing something, you could see what they were playing and stuff like that. So you guys know we use Discord attached to our Patreon, and so and obviously loving the conversations that are happening over there, but it's really cool to see this little communication app kind of grow into what it is. Us that are in our 30s and older, we've gotten to see so many companies come from, Google was just a search website at one point. Amazon was just a book company at one point. And so to see these companies grow and dream and cast vision, just like kind of like YouTube, and we've gotten to see so many things be birthed and become these ginormous companies, and so it's really cool. And so I'm hoping for the best for Discord. I don't know if I'll use it because I'm not a huge PC guy, and usually I just know Steam. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like I just go with what I know.
Right.
That's going to be one of their big challenges anyway, because people are so used to whichever they want to go to, and so to try and introduce them into something new like this, like they could, it's
the thing I think is smart about what they did was they started out by offering a service that people wanted, and so they gave a way for people to communicate outside of the game that they were in, so that people that could voice chat with Nintendo games and voice chat with other games that didn't have voice chat built in. And so they kind of amassed this group of people from being a communication app. And then you get a bunch of people, and then you launch this thing, and then you've already got a huge user base that you can kind of launch with.
Yep.
So
yeah, they also tied this game store as well. So they had a service that was called Discord did called Nitro. It's something you can subscribe to, and my understanding is the original or Nitro Classic, as they're calling it now, was just like it gave you some enhanced chat perks. Like I think you had some exclusive emotes and some different things like that you could utilize throughout all the different Discord servers that you're a part of. But this new store that they're opening up, they're also tying that to Nitro. So you can just use the stores like, hey, I want to buy this game, I want to buy that game and play it here or whatever. But you can also subscribe to Nitro, this new version of it, for like, I think it's $10 a month or $100 for a year. And you just get access to the games library. You can play everything that's on it. And as it grows, kind of like Game Pass in a way, you just play, you have access to all the different games. So tying it to that as well is a bit of a differentiator because my understanding is Steam doesn't have anything like that at all, do they? Where you can just pay a subscription fee and you have access to any game that you want.
Yeah, I don't think so. Their library.
So I think
is
on
so
PC
huge,
side, I think that's outside of like, EA Access or the ones where it's specific to that developer or that publisher. I don't think there's anything like that mimics a Game Pass functionality on the PC side. Well, I guess technically Game Pass is that as well for Microsoft games because all of their stuff applies over there as well. So maybe it's more of a competitor to that, but that was another thing that was pretty cool as well.
There you go. What else you got, Chris?
Something else that I have is not the Discord story because that one's been done.
Not that one.
So Fallout 76 is currently being stress tested on the Xbox One side. And it's something where it's open. I don't know that it's open to anybody in the Xbox Live Insiders, kind of their pre-production or their pre-scheduled where you can go in there and test things out before it becomes like firmwares and different things for the Xbox. But right now, Xbox Live Insiders have access to the stress test beta as well as people who have pre-ordered. My understanding is only on the Xbox side. However, a lot of people that are doing it just kind of because these days, a lot of times if a beta comes out or something, many of the developers have been like, hey, and you can stream this or you can share video clips of this and whatnot. But this is not one of those. Now, there is going to be an open beta for Fallout 76 before the game actually launches that's going to end up being on all platforms at some point in time. And during that beta, you're allowed to stream it or show gameplay of it and all those different kinds of things. But right now in this stress test, you are not allowed to. And people are finding that out because people started streaming it on Twitch and started having their accounts suspended on Twitch.
Oh, gosh.
And then other people were like uploading clips to Twitter and getting their Twitter accounts suspended and then their Xbox Live accounts suspended and all these different things.
Lord have mercy.
So people out there, it's very obvious that they are not familiar with NDAs and they do not read what an NDA actually says. And I don't know how, I'm not part of the program. So I don't know if is it just like, we all do. You buy a thing and then you see this little terms of service page. You just scroll and accept. And then you just go. You don't really read anything that's going on there. And it does seem like some of the Twitter suspensions are they're temporary. Like it's almost like it's automatic, and then they're getting let go. I'm not sure on the Twitch side, but the Xbox Live account suspensions seem like they're holding up, and most of them are tied until about January 1st. So when the game actually comes out, and Fallout 76 is only an online game, they're going to be suspended, not be able to play Fallout 76 until January or whenever their suspension is lifted, depending on, I guess, however much of an offense that they did. So make sure that if you get involved in any of these betas, especially if it says closed beta at any point in time, there's probably rules and regulations saying, hey, you're not supposed to be sharing anything about this, not even talking about it really, technically speaking. You're just supposed to sometimes you can't even say that you're in it. That's how tight some of them get. So you gotta pay attention to whatever those terms of service say or any kind of thing that says like NDA or non-disclosure agreement. Be sure and read what that says before you just go telling all your buddies on Twitter like, hey, guess what? I did this. Here's a screenshot of this crazy thing that happened. Because you might regret it.
That's right. Have you guys ever heard of the Mushroom Rally?
Nope. Sounds like a Mario Kart kind of thing or something.
It is a Mario Kart kind of thing. There's a company out of Australia, I think, that's actually coming to the States, and they're working this thing called the Mushroom Rally across the country. It's coming to Houston next year in March, and they set up a track. They give everybody outfits, and it's all it's all Mario Kart themed, and you get to race around these karts and stuff like that, which doesn't sound that different than just regular kart racing, but they actually have prizes, they have winners, and then I think next summer they have all the winners come to Vegas, and then you do like a final race and then win a big prize. And so I was like, That's a nice way to bring Mario Kart to the real world and stuff like that. So I thought that was really cool. I was like, oh, I would do that. I think I love getting in a go-kart and racing around, and it'd be fun to dress up and be Princess Peach as you blow past your friends.
Love
You
it.
know what I'm saying?
Make that happen.
I don't know if you could. Yeah, I don't know if you could throw any turtle shells or anything like that. But other than
You
that,
should just, yeah, I don't know. You just make them like out of paper mache and just start throwing them.
Just throw a tennis ball.
Because that'd be pretty morbid if people throwing actual turtle shells. Yeah.
yeah. Well, yeah. Of course. Of course. What else you got, Chris?
The last thing that I have is being that it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and if you guys remember a few months back, I think it may have been around May or something like that, but Blizzard had released that pink Mercy skin that you could actually purchase with real money. It was the only time up until now that they've actually released a skin that you could pay money for. And they kind of announced how much that they raised from that event or from that piece of material that they were selling, and they earned $12.7 million. And every single bit of that,
that's amazing.
Every single bit of that was being donated directly to charity, and they donated it to the Breast Cancer Research Foundation, and it represents the Breast Cancer Research Foundation's largest single corporate partner donation ever.
No way.
Yeah, so I just thought it made total sense for them to kind of divulge like how much they were able to earn from everybody coming together during Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's a little bit strange to me. I remember when they did it, I was like, I wonder why they're not holding this off until October. But you know what? I mean, whenever they do it, it's fine as long as they can raise this amount of money or any amount of money, really, for such a good cause. So kudos to Blizzard.
Man, yeah, that's amazing.
And I would assume that this means they'll find other things to sell, because I have no problem paying for a skin when I know it's going to go to charity and go to something that is, totally worthy of the extra, the $5 or whatever it was I paid for that Mercy skin. I would totally do that. I don't want it to happen all the time because I can't afford all the skins. Right. but I'm totally down for them doing this every once a quarter or something. Maybe.
How much was the skin?
I want to say I feel like $5 what it was, but that feels a little high to me. It's probably somewhere between $3 to $5 if I had to guess. I don't really remember for sure.
Dude, to raise $12 million,
that's
$3 at a time.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, it was not expensive at all.
That's
I
incredible.
wonder if I can look it up.
And that was the first skin that you could ever purchase?
Yeah, so all the skins that they've done since the game started was they'd be tied to events or whatever, and you could buy loot boxes, which then gave you a shot at getting the skin, but that was the first time that you were able to directly purchase the skin that you wanted with real life money.
Very cool.
They had never done that before.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Okay, looks like I was way off. It looks like the price of it when it launched was $15, so my bad.
Oh, wow.
I was way off.
Oh, wow, $15.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of money, but I think when it's going towards something like that,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Because I remember when it came out, I was just like, oh yeah, I'm going to do that. Like I didn't even kind of think twice about it. So it couldn't have been too much. It's more than I remembered it being, but when it's tied to that cause and it's, it makes sense that it looks really good. I mean, Blizzard doesn't make bad looking skins for most of these characters. So that doesn't help. That helps too.
Except for May.
Well, yeah, I mean, May doesn't really get a ton of love. So.
May.
I don't know what I'm going to give them one more season and be like, okay, now you guys need to really figure out what you're doing with May because you guys don't even know what you're doing. She
gets the worst uncreative skins out of everybody.
I always just want to say, shut up, May.
The thing is that she's one of the funnest characters in terms of her lines and to play around with, and her little punch when she punches is this weird cute little and almost like she's throwing a baseball or something and she punches. But then she just got all these goofy looking skins well, that doesn't look that great.
I know. Doing quick math, 12 million divided by 15 is 800,000 people.
Wow.
Woo.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good on you, Blizzard.
Yeah. Really good on you, Blizzard. That's incredible. And that's to say if every dollar went. You know what I'm saying? So it could be more people if there was, some money tied up in, whatever they call it when, somebody's just got to do it or whatever. Anyway, so I tried out, I got into the Project Stream beta.
How'd that go?
So it went bad at first.
Oh, okay.
I was doing it on my laptop, and I don't know if this is for everyone else, but for my laptop, if I've got too much Chrome going on, Google Chrome,
Yeah.
that thing can be a resource hog.
Yes.
And way more than I feel like a browser should be.
Tell me about it.
Exactly. Tim knows my pain.
I know. I can feel you.
Yes. And so the first time I did it, I started it up and I was like, oof, this is rough. It was really delayed, really pixelated. And so I kind of opened my task manager and everything just to see like kind of where all the power was going. And like everything was going to Chrome. And it was like, we can't do it. And I was like, what is going on? Why is Chrome hogging up this much resources? So I restarted my computer, opened Task Manager, waited for all the little startup things to like chill out, waited for all the numbers to kind of level off. And then I tried it again. And man, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was like way better than I thought it was going to be. Especially because that first test was so janky. And so of course, it's Assassin's Creed Odyssey that they're using. You don't have to, for this test at least, I didn't have to buy the game. And they say I have access to it until the 15th of January. So that's a good long time to test it out, especially with, a quote unquote free game right now with playing Assassin's Creed. And I brought my PlayStation out from the shed, my PlayStation controller out, and plugged it up USB to my laptop. And, we had talked about controller support last week or the week before. And right when I hit the analog stick, it switches from the keyboard and mouse to the PlayStation controller. And even in the options, like when I'm going to the options and looking at everything, it's got the DualShock 4 laid out there. It's got the touchpad. It tells you where all the buttons are.
Yeah, I had heard that when you plug in a controller to use with Project Stream, that it just detects like which one you're doing and gives you the correct prompts. Like if you are the triangle button or the A button
really
or
cool.
whatever. So yeah,
and that's
cool.
and that's across the game. So some games that I've played on my PC where I use the controller, it still would have like maybe Xbox controllers. Hit X for this when you knew X wasn't. It's not. It meant square. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. But on this, it showed you exactly, like, even when it was like, you want to skip this cinematic, hit circle, you know what I'm saying? So it really did dive into that. So I didn't try it with the Xbox controller, plugging it in, which I don't know. I guess, I would just plug it in the top. But I did try it with the PlayStation one. And man, it felt like the future, if I can be completely honest. Like, it looked really good.
Nice.
It runs its own little test on your internet to see if it's fast enough. It brings up a little prompt when it's going slow. It's like, hey, your gameplay might not be as smooth because your connection is got a little weak for a second there. But for those that haven't played Assassin's Creed, and I hadn't, the very first thing is a big battle right after the first cinematic, and so you're right into fighting. So I was like, okay, good. This will be nice to see. It's not like I just go right into walking around because that would be harder to tell. So I felt like when I was fighting, I couldn't tell the lag that much. I could tell it in the menus though. So when you've got the cursor up and like you hit, go up to continue or down to options or anything like that, that's where I could feel it the most. But it felt like when I was running around in the game, and Assassin's Creed's not as twitchy as other games.
Yes.
I feel like there can be that slight buffer there where you can still get it done and dodge things. And, enemies are like, I'm going to swing at you. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like if you were playing Call of Duty or something like that, or something that's, maybe a puzzle game or, Guacamelee. It felt like there was some elements there where you were like, you got to be on it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I definitely feel like Assassin's Creed Odyssey was the right game if you're going to be launching it right now, not only because it's a big name title that a lot of people are interested in, so there's that element of like, I want to give this a try, and you get to play it for free essentially during this test. But then also knowing that it's not something that's super heavily Twitch based, which again is one of the big knocks against the streaming side, is just because by default, the way that it works right now, there's going to be some type of input lag in a way. It's just a matter of how small can they get that. So I think all those things were definitely helpful for them for getting this going, in the first go round at least.
Yeah, man, I was surprised. The first time I started it up, like I was saying, it gave me trouble. And that was what I expected. I was like, oh, okay, this is playing janky. Like, yep, that makes sense. But man, that second time after I restarted my laptop, and I haven't tried it out here on my PC in the shed yet. But that second time I was really surprised, and the graphics look really good. Like it, right when you click play, it goes to full screen, no window, and it's like you bought the game and you're playing it. And you know, the Ubisoft logo comes up. It's just, you know, like the game is. So
Wow.
yeah, it was I was really, really impressed. I was surprised that second time. I was like, I think I could actually do this. I want to get into it a little bit more and get to running around in the world, but I was doing that Spartan kick right away.
Who did you play as?
No, I didn't even get there. It's just that first battle. I just
I
wanted
got you. Yeah,
see how it felt, because I got in so late last night after the Doves that I was like, well, I got to try this at least so I could speak on it a little bit on the show. But yeah, I was really impressed. I think they're really on to something. And it's the
I signed
first
up
time
for
that
it.
I've. Mhm.
And I was gonna say I'll give it a shot if I end up getting in. I haven't gotten any email saying that I'm getting in, because I've wanted to give. So when I lived at the other house, I gave PlayStation Now a try, and I felt that it worked okay, especially for third party games. First person stuff, it really wasn't quite right. And I've thought about giving it another try, but it just feels so odd because like literally my PlayStation is right here next to where my computer is, because I don't have a laptop, and it's like it's just silly to me to even dabble with it when I just plug this thing in and just play it right there. Yeah. So, but this, because it's only running in the browser, I'm kind of curious to give it a shot if I end up getting an invite or whatever.
And that's what's crazy, is that the way they have it set up is you don't feel like it's running in the browser.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
You know what I mean? Like when you click play, it's not like it's in the window still. You know what I mean? And
It's full screen, right?
It's full screen, and it was. I'm just saying. I'm hesitantly saying, like, for first impression, it was like 7 out of 10.
Wow, nice.
It was pretty close. I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is doing it. And then my laptop died. And I was like, okay, well, I need to go to bed anyway.
Yeah.
That was a sign.
Yeah, exactly. But I could have saw myself staying up and playing it more and getting into it. I was just really shocked at the fidelity. I really was. And my internet's good, but it's not like, it's not like some office buildings that I've been in, or an arena where it's just flying. You know what I'm saying? You know, we've gotten some crazy speeds on the road. But it was, my internet's not, that banging, but it was still holding up. I was pleasantly surprised.
Now that I
That's
think
great.
about it, I kind of do want to go back and try PlayStation Now as well, just to see if it's any different or better or whatever. Because I think, if I remember right, it also can work on a computer. Now, I don't know if they have a Mac client for it, but just like how there's remote play that's available for PC and Mac if you want to stream it that way, I think PlayStation Now, I think there's also an app or some way that you can play it. I think it's in an application, not in a browser window like Chrome is, but I think there's a way to do it on PC as well, and that might be worth dabbling with again at some point. Just to, especially if I get into the Project Stream thing, just so I can kind of somewhat compare the two. I mean, It won't be apples to apples because I don't think AC Odyssey is not on PlayStation Now, but maybe I could play some other PS4 game that's somewhat similar and just see if there's how they compare to each other.
Yeah. So my only gripe is obviously that Chrome is a beast for whatever reason. So I don't know why it's such a suck on resources. I don't know if it's because, of maybe the plugins that I have going, and, maybe I need to turn the plugins off or whatever. But if it wasn't that, then I think that it would work. It would have worked from Jump Street.
Right.
Chris, what else you got?
I am out.
Ooh, Eduardo.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Well, new over on YouTube, we've got parts 7, 8, and 9 of Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So I think that puts us right around 24 hours of gameplay of that game.
Ooh,
Nice, buddy.
That does include my delusional spell that I had this week.
That was awesome.
Apparently,
That was so great.
before Sarah got home, I was playing and I didn't realize I hadn't slept for 48 hours.
Oh my gosh, Ed. What is wrong with you, child?
Doritos.
I was watching Shark Tank. And
and the sun would just come and go.
exactly. And I had gone out to eat with Dad and I came home. It was like 8:30 and I thought, you know what? I'm going to I'm gonna stream all night long.
Yes.
And like 20 minutes into it, I was like, oh, my eyes are so tired. What's happening?
Mm-hmm.
And it just got weird. So
It
that's
got
in there.
It got amazing. Number one, so Ed's really good, and I don't know if it's from his radio days or from his improv days or if it's a mix of both, but Ed is really good at talking while he's playing, and joking around about the world and making up little songs as he's playing on Twitch. This one, it's not that it slowed down because it was still him talking. It just didn't make as much sense as it usually makes.
That's awesome. It's all kind of coming unglued.
Yeah, that's right.
He was talking about thinking about George Clooney, and he thought that he had said it out loud. And why would he have said George Clooney? Oh, it was so good. I was smiling the whole time, like he has no idea where he even is right now.
That's right. So yeah, that's there if you want to watch that amazing gameplay.
He talked about falling asleep in it like you had before, like you had fallen asleep during some stream. Was it during Extra Life last year?
During Extra Life last year, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, so good.
Yeah, that's there. There's also about 5 hours of Lego DC Supervillains.
Oh, nice already.
Check that out.
Good job.
So yeah. So that's there as well. And yeah, do you guys want to hear a iTunes review?
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Let me see if I'm about to have a good day or a bad day.
Yeah, all right.
It's from Surfer Dude 23.
Oh yeah, bruh.
And the headline is Best Podcast.
Oh,
5 stars.
Hey, all right.
They're talking about us?
Says, yeah, I think it's us. Yeah.
It was like best podcast, kind of funny. These guys are all right though.
Right. They're trying. Bless their
Best
hearts.
podcast if you have nothing else to listen to.
Yeah. Ever been bored and been like, I wish I just had something to listen to, and all the internet's done already? Give these guys a
These
listen.
are your guys.
Yeah, exactly. Want to feel young?
Wow.
Listen to Married to the Games.
Nice.
These guys are old.
Are you sure you wouldn't rather listen to your meditation app? This one, it's from Surfer Dude 23. It says, oh, yes, y'all. Yes, y'all. Stop what you're doing and just subscribe to this podcast.
Oh,
I'm always trying to find good podcasts because of my job. I drive a lot. This podcast is by far the best.
Oh,
I'm all caught up, and I only started listening about 3 weeks ago.
wait, what?
Wow.
Yeah.
All caught up like from this month?
jeez. No, probably
I
from
don't know.
episode
That's a lot
one.
of driving if he's all caught up from the 300 other episodes.
That's amazing.
That's
Surfer
incredible,
Dude.
man.
Thank you,
man.
Right?
Oh my
Thank
gosh.
you so much. Holy
Jeez.
cow.
He says, I love all these guys. Their attitude towards what they're talking about and doing, you can tell they love to do this podcast. That's why this podcast is the best. Keep up the good work, guys. Brennan, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Brennan.
man,
Yes.
that's awesome.
That is amazing. Thank you.
Made
That
my
is
whole
awesome.
day.
Yep.
See, there you go. You're going to have a good day, Gabe.
Yeah, I might not snap on the kids today.
That's right. And I'm going to go to bed with a smile on my face.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's awesome. I think you should wake Lauren up and tell her.
Yeah. Oh, she'll love
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
Hey.
Do that.
Hey,
Bring the microphone.
we got a 5-star
Record it.
review. And it made my whole night.
Yep. Good night, honey.
Dude.
Insert stabbing sound effects.
Exactly.
Glad
as
to
she
hear that's
murders
what
you.
it took to make your night, not the fact that you're in Hawaii.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he's used to that. That's old hat now. He's been there since
Yeah,
Saturday.
yeah.
True.
good.
That's true.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's over
I'm
it.
an Islander now. I'm good to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. They've accepted you.
Yeah,
That's right. I've been accepted.
yeah.
That's right. Tim's calling other people Hallies.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. It's the Hawaiian version of a muggle.
That's right.
That's right.
Thanks, Edward.
You betcha.
Well, every week we ask you guys a question. Last week was no different. We asked you guys, what's your favorite scary video game? Because we are coming up on Halloween. And I said, did it really scare you? Starting over on Twitter, we've got Brennan. Leave it. That's how I'm going to say it. Maybe it's the same Brennan. I don't know. There's a lot of Brennans out there.
Maybe it is.
He said the best horror game I've played has to be Resident Evil 7. Not only was it really scary, but my first playthrough of the game was all in PSVR.
Oh, jeez.
No freaking thank you.
Nope.
I played on a bus with friends in broad daylight and was scared. I can't imagine playing in PSVR. It made the game way more terrifying. It also didn't help that my girlfriend would grab me and scream while I was playing.
No.
Nope.
Oh,
that
you got to
doesn't
break
help
up with
at all.
her. You have,
No,
You
man.
need to break up with her.
she's got to go.
She gotta go. Not the one. Moving on.
Exactly. You don't marry the chick try to give you a heart attack.
That's right.
Keep her a girlfriend. So
That happens after you get married.
Exactly. She didn't even wait to put a ring on it. Oh
That's
man,
right.
she's brave.
That's right.
I'd be scared I'd elbow somebody.
Right?
My ninja instincts and everything.
That's right.
Yeah, control those.
No, man, that's fight or flight. Turtles are chill. A game that scares the crap out of me is Emily Wants to Play in VR. I can't get through it.
Huh.
One
I've not heard
of
of
my,
that.
me either. I looked it up and I was like, yep, nope.
Yep, and nope.
Yeah.
YouTube. Because it works now.
One of my favorite scary games has got to be Fear 3. Ooh. Weeboo at Wanna Be a Boo or Weeaboo. The PT demo that never got released as a full game couldn't be in my room by myself at night for a while.
I believe it.
Wow.
I know that's right.
Phones
Man.
be ringing and stuff.
I know. That's a throwback to episode 100
Yeah, man.
when we played that game. I wonder if that's still on our, that's got to still be on our YouTube, right? Or maybe
Oh, yeah.
we put
Oh,
it
yeah,
there in
it
the
should
first
be.
one.
Probably.
That was a good time.
It was.
Alex Perez on Facebook, Chalfie.
That's
Until-
Chalfie.
Until Dawn is my favorite. It didn't scare me because real G's don't get scared, but, but it was a wild, weird, and creepy.
Real G's don't
Dude.
get scared. That's awesome.
I love that. Travis,
You can't be a real G and an elementary school principal.
Yeah,
I'm
it doesn't work.
sorry.
It doesn't work that way.
I don't know, man. You ever dealt with that many kids at once? I think you almost have to be a G
Yeah, right.
to be an elementary school principal.
That's right.
Travis Pospisil.
That's true.
Yeah. I only have 3 of them, and I'm like, oof, all right. I could imagine a whole school full of children. Travis Pospisil, it was Alien on the Commodore 64 when I was a wee lad. You had to get Ripley safely to the bridge and find her cat, all while avoiding the alien queen. I'm not sure why it scared me. It was literally 8-bit graphics. I guess it was the tension.
Wow. Yeah. That'll do it.
Yeah, and your imagination, right? That's what you had
Oh, heck yeah,
back in
man.
those days. Back in the 8-bit days. Curtis Blizzard or Blizzard has to be the OG Resident Evil on PlayStation. The first time those dogs broke through the windows made me jump. I tell you what, that got everybody. If that didn't get you, you're dead inside. I'll tell you this too. While I was playing, one of the things I'm really enjoying about Blackout on Call of Duty is that there's like an area which I was not expecting, and it did kind of scare me. Because, you know, when you're playing those Battle Royale games, you're listening so intently for footsteps and just trying to see where people are coming from. And you're kind of, for me, I kind of like trying to gather stuff real quick, and then I kind of chill out and maybe like hang out in a house or like, you know, run around and kind of, I creep around, you know. I'm not guns blazing on those kind of games. And there's this one area, and it might be on a couple places of the map, but I don't know, that you hear the laughter that happens in the earlier Black Ops with the zombies games, and zombies start running out of one of the houses.
Oh,
at
yeah.
you. And I was not expecting that because I didn't get into the beta and all that. I didn't get to play it because of being on the road. So when those guys first rushed me, there was like 3 of them. I was like, oh my gosh, like what is going on right now? I feel like I'm totally giving away my position. I'm like, attack, 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 attack. I'm just firing away. Oh man, it's a great map. There's like a Nuketown island that you can jump out and down onto for those who have played Nuketown. And I think they've got a lot of great nods on that map. Anyway,
Nice.
It's
Back
awesome.
to the question at hand.
Mhm.
Over on Discordia, Jeff. Oh, come on now. The best scary game ever to exist is Eternal Darkness for the GameCube. Spoken like a true Nintendo person. And yeah, it scared the crap out of us when it made us think someone in the room was changing inputs or messing with the volume on the TV. The game made the player think they were going crazy along with the character. I do remember those stories. That's really great. That like the input thing and the volume would start going up and down.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
What's going on? Calmed Fury, The Last of Us. I hate zombie-esque enemies and scary games. I played the entire game while reading a walkthrough so I would know when the jump scares were coming.
Oh, get out.
No.
Really? Wow. I don't find that game scary as much. It's just more intense for me than it is scary.
See, for a scaredy cat like me, like there definitely was that pit in my stomach where I was like, doggone it.
Oh, nice. All right.
This is going to be scary, I think, a little bit.
Yeah.
Roman, Nick Fallhaber. One of my all-time favorite scary games is Clive Barker's Undying. It was a first-person shooter that came out in 2001. In it, you explore the estate of an old World War I army buddy whose family had gone crazy and supernatural stuff started happening all over the grounds. You fought with guns and magic similar to what BioShock would do
Nice.
would do years later. It was really scary at the time, but didn't spook me when I reinstalled it and replayed it a couple years ago. Nice. World War I army buddy. Ugh. I mean, that's a great premise, though. Going to your dead buddy's house and his family's gone crazy. Ooh, no freaking thank you. But thank you for all the answers. We appreciate you guys. You know where to find us. Facebook.com/Married to the Games. Twitter.com/MTTGcast. Of course, marriedtothegames.com. You can check out all the videos that we've got going on. YouTube.com/Married to the Games, like Ed said. On Patreon, if you'd love to support the show, patreon.com/MTTG. And we are cranking up Extra Life. To remind you what is going on, extra-life.org/team/MTTG. Come join up. We're giving away prizes this year to the people that raise the most, excluding us and our captain, of course. But come join up the team. It's for the kids. It's for a good cause. You get to game. It's a great reason to be like, baby, I got to play some video games. I'm sorry. Like, this is for the kids. It's for the kids.
I have to.
Yeah, we have to. So the official Married to the Games day is going to be, along with Eduardo, November 3rd going into the 4th. I'm going to be doing the end of November, the 30th going into the 1st of December. We are giving away a game for every $300 raised by me or Ed while streaming. So if you come and donate during our time and we hit those 300 marks, we will be giving away games at the end of our stream. And for the top 3 raisers on our team, first place gets a hoodie, second place gets a shirt, third place gets a mug. All things to keep you warm. You know what I'm saying? It's wintertime.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I like it.
You have to clothe yourself and you need coffee or hot chocolate. It's the most wonderful time.
All right.
We love that we get to give. And so let's get to giving together. And hopefully you guys get to get for giving. Anyway, that's a lot of G's going on. And all the way from Hawaii, Tim.
Rate us on iTunes because real G's listen to this podcast.
Hey!
Oh, nice.
That's right.
That's right.
Well, let's get into some questions.
What's a game that you love but just can't play for whatever reason? For me, it's Final Fantasy XIV, the MMO. I absolutely loved my time in that game, but I enjoy all kinds of games and can't dedicate myself to just one. Plus, I don't have the time for it. But the game is so good, it's on my top 10 games of all time. Wow.
Oh, wow. Ooh, that's a good question. Games you love, you just can't play. That's a tough one. You know, it's funny that he said Final Fantasy because that was the first thing that popped in my head. Like, to go back and try to play Final Fantasy VII, one of my favorite games ever, would be just real daunting and real hard. And it wouldn't be a game that I'd want to just play like, oh, and then I played a little bit, 3 weeks ago, and then I played a little bit today, and then I'll play a little bit a month from now. Just because they do demand so much of your time. But I would say, you know what? I would say almost any game that I've played that I've loved. So BioShock Infinite, The Last of Us, there's so many games out there that I've played, and I don't go back and replay games anymore. And so I would say most games that I like, I don't go back and replay.
It's a good answer.
Chris?
Shoot, I mean, I'm a little bit in the same camp as Gabe. I'd rarely go back and replay games, but I will do it. I mean, I've gone back and played Metal Gear 1. The last time I did it was about a year ago, so I'm kind of due to do it again. And I kind of want to go back and play through all of the Metal Gear games. I definitely want to go back and give Metal Gear Solid 5 another shot. I haven't done it yet, but I plan to. I have played The Last of Us twice. I plan to play it at least one more time before I get my free copy.
Really?
My free copy from Ed. I'm going to be playing that again right before that one comes out at some point. And I will definitely go back and play God of War again.
Really?
Nice.
If I really love a game, like the ones that I will go back and play are the ones that I truly like have a special place for me. Like for instance, I really enjoyed Twisted Metal and Twisted Metal 2. But if it's not on the NES, or excuse me, not the NES, the Sony PlayStation Classic, I just don't see myself going to the trouble to play that game again. And there are some games where, like, I really enjoyed Assassin's Creed Black Flag. And I've told myself this whole generation, I'm going to go back and play that game. But the other day, I started up some other AC. Oh, yeah, I had gotten AC, whatever the one that was on, it's backwards compatibility. It's on Xbox One. It's the one where the guy's like, he's a Templar, and you actually play as a Templar instead of an assassin.
Oh, Rogue.
Yeah, Rogue. Right. I got that one. I was like, okay, I'm going to play this. I played for like 5 minutes. I was like, man, this just feels really old school now.
Yeah.
So I haven't played any more of it. And I feel like AC at Black Flag is going to be the same way. So even though I tell myself, I'm going to go back and play that, realistically, I'm probably not going to. But there are a handful of games. It's like, I will absolutely go back and play these again. So some of them, when they're just too old, I like to just live with the fond memories and just let it be that.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah.
Ed, what about you?
I don't feel like there are any games I can't go back and play. Pretty much any game that I've really enjoyed, I've played more than once. So yeah, I don't really feel like there's anything that I couldn't go back and play. I don't know.
Huh.
Nice.
Tim?
I'm with you, Gabe, on this. Like I like to have the memories. I did play Last of Us twice for the remaster, and and I'm good. Like, I don't need to play that one again. It's because a lot of those games that I absolutely love, like, I have fond memories of, and it was a time period, and it's just like, it was just a great game, and I just like to leave it at that. I don't want to go back and revisit it, so I'm kind of with you on that one.
Yeah, good question.
Yeah, very good question. Lucas Ham, here we go. So on this day in 1923, the Walt Disney Company was founded. Actually, it was yesterday because you're reading it tomorrow. Anyways, forget I said that and move on to the next question, which is, what is your personal favorite and least favorite Disney or Pixar movie? For Gabe and Tim, try to pretend like your kids haven't made you watch some of these movies 1,000 or more times.
I know that's right.
Exactly. And judge off of personal opinion alone. Also, feel free to agree or disagree with one another, giving lively commentary as desired to make things
Thanks
interesting.
For the permission.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, buddy. The person with
I wasn't going to do that. But I'll do it.
I wasn't going to agree or disagree
with anything. The person with the weakest answers is banned. Just kidding. It will probably be me anyways for making that last comment.
Exactly right.
It'll be you just for giving this question. So we're good. You're banned. No. Okay. So favorite and least favorite.
Chris, you got a favorite and least favorite?
So
wow,
man, it's hard, but gut reaction just when it said favorite Disney movie, my instant thought was Aladdin. I think that one might be one of my favorite of the like more hand-drawn animated ones.
Of the classics?
Yeah, I'm gonna split them out and I'm gonna do one for each. On the Pixar one.
I like that. Ooh, good idea.
On the Pixar one is is Wreck-It Ralph? Is that a Disney
It's
Studios one, or is
Disney.
that
No,
that's Disney Studios? Okay.
It is Disney, just
Okay.
not Pixar.
Then as far as the Pixar ones go, I probably would have to say Finding Nemo.
Oh, that was a
Oh,
good one.
nice.
I did watch
Mhm.
Coco recently because it's on Netflix, and that was really
Coco's
good.
great.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that one too. But I mean, I can't even think honestly of one that I hate or that I
That
dislike.
was just
or
least
whatever.
favorite.
Least favorite. I've
Yeah.
never been a huge fan of shoot. Who's the girl with the 7 dwarves?
That would be Snow
Snow
White.
White. I never really got into that one. I wanted to say
Okay,
Cinderella,
right.
but I was like, it's not Cinderella. Dang it, why can't I get Cinderella out of my head? And then on the Pixar side,
It's Princess Peach and the Seven Dwarfs.
on the Pixar
Yeah, exactly.
side, there's just a hand. I know this is going to be sacrilege for a lot of people, but I never got super into the Incredibles. Like,
Oh, okay.
so many people
really?
really love the Incredibles.
Alright,
I'm just
well-
like, yeah, it's fine. But
Well, you're a band. There you go. No, I'm kidding.
Edward?
My favorite, hand drawn one is definitely Aladdin.
Man.
My least favorite would be one called Home on the Range, where Roseanne Barr played a cow.
I don't even remember that.
Well, you
man, I don't even
love
remember that one.
Roseanne.
I know, it's so weird that I wouldn't like that one.
How could you not? What's wrong with you, Ed?
That's
That's
funny.
funny.
When it comes to Pixar, wow, there are just so doggone it,
There's
man.
so many good ones. It's crazy.
I'm probably gonna say, wow, I'll just go with The Incredibles
As your
Oh,
favorite?
Nice.
as my
Nice.
favorite, and least favorite would be Cars 2.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think that's what I was
I
going
don't
to
even
say
know
for
if
my
I
least
saw
favorite.
Cars 2. I think I only saw
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
first Cars.
I didn't see it either.
My favorite Disney, it is really hard to pick between Aladdin and The Lion King.
The Lion
Yeah.
King,
Um,
yeah,
yep.
that's true.
Classic.
Because I
Yeah.
think
Classics.
Lion King for me, so Aladdin, no, I think Aladdin's amazing. I love Aladdin. I love Robin Williams in Aladdin. I think he's great. I feel sorry for Will Smith, who's going to have to be the genie next, just because
Mhm.
everybody's going to be comparing him to Robin Williams
Of course.
and the brilliance
Right,
that was there in
right.
that movie. But I feel like The Lion King had more peaks and valleys, like where the
Yes.
Aladdin is like what really went bad. You know what I'm saying? Where you know Simba lost his father. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So like
Spoiler alert.
killed
Spoiler
by
alert.
his uncle. Yeah, sorry. Spoiler
Yeah.
alert for those who haven't seen Lion
Kidding.
King. So I think I'm gonna go with Lion King just because the emotions there are,
Yeah,
man,
are
that's
more.
That is a much deeper story for sure.
Yeah, even though like I know all the Aladdin songs by heart, but I know a
Right.
lot of them by heart anyway. Favorite Pixar is gotta be Toy Story, probably.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
Good call.
Just
Yep,
'cause
good call.
When those came, it's that's another toss up between that one and Monsters Inc. Like when Monsters
Mhm.
Inc. came out, I was like,
Yep.
how smart is this?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep. And then my least favorite, probably Cars 2, because I don't know if I've even seen it and I wasn't excited about seeing it.
Yeah.
On the Disney side, I don't even know. Maybe I have no idea on the Disney side what I didn't like.
The Black Cauldron.
Yeah,
Oh,
I have
God,
no idea
yeah.
what that even is, but
That was a bad one.
I'll go with that.
That
one.
was a bad one. Yeah.
Tim.
Yeah, I'm totally with you guys. Aladdin is such a strong. It's so good, and just Robin Williams. I think I saw that 3 times in the theaters when it came out because it was just so good. And favorite Pixar is, I love them all, but I think the Toy Story series are just so good. They're so
Oh
clever.
man,
Yeah.
so good.
My least favorite Disney movie would, I don't know. Black Cauldron maybe, or one of those. Or man, Song of the South was really not not really PC anymore,
Yes.
and so that makes you a little uncomfortable. But as far as Pixar, Toy Story series, definitely, and the worst for me is The Good Dinosaur, which just came out 2 years ago. It was
Oh
awful.
yeah.
Yeah, I never
I-
saw that one.
I
Yeah.
went
You
and
know, I
saw
saw that. I didn't.
and
I can agree. I didn't think it was awful, but I
It
can
was-
probably
oh,
put that in one of the lower
bad.
tiers.
It was definitely a lower tiered one. But yeah, if you haven't seen Coco, the latest one, it's fantastic. It's really good.
Yeah.
Good story. Very good story.
That thing's been on repeat at my house. Lord have mercy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. us
Nice.
too.
I also, when I was younger, on the hand drawn animated ones, I always really liked Fantasia as well.
Oh, Fantasia's fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's
Gosh,
a good
they've
one.
got a lot of. Jeez,
Yep,
They are.
They have a lot.
Yeah, they're working it out over there.
There they are. There's a reason why they have a couple parks.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah,
And that was before all these movies that we mentioned.
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Thank you, Lucas Ham, for the question. That was good.
Chris.
All right, I gotta stop before we get copyright
Yeah.
strike.
Copyright strike,
I'm
on YouTube.
I'm so close
Copyright,
to the
yep.
original, you know.
Okay, Calmed Fury. What's the biggest hustle you have done to buy video games? This week, I traded in my original Xbox One to GameStop for more than double the base trade in value by purchasing an Xbox One X.
Oh,
I
nice.
then returned the X the next day to pre-order the games I wanted on PS4 and Switch.
Oh, that's
Now
hilarious.
Yeah.
Now that's a hustle.
Dude's hustling hardcore.
That's a good hustle.
Yeah.
I'm not
I've
even
never
mad at
done any of
That's
that
amazing.
stuff.
No, that's
I never am clever enough to pick up on it unless somebody says, "Hey, this is what you do," and then by that time it's usually too
Yeah.
late.
Yeah, exactly.
saying.
They've fixed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My biggest hustle has just been eBay, selling off old stuff that I didn't want anymore to strictly to buy games. I remember there was a time a couple years ago where I was selling games to buy games, and so that was probably the biggest hustle. I've never done anything like that. That's incredible. But yeah, I would just say eBay. Edward,
nice.
Yeah, I don't really know if I've kind of like with Chris. I hear about people doing it. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool, but I never try it or am early enough, I think. So
there you go.
I
Tim,
remember.
My biggest hustle is for my birthdays and Christmases, I just ask for gift cards so that everybody else buys my video games for me.
exactly right.
Since
nice.
since I've started video games, I've only had to buy like 2 or 3.
That's amazing.
Yeah, for the past 3 years, I've never had to actually buy a video game.
That's awesome. I really like that.
So yeah, it's a lot of fun. So thanks, family and friends, for giving me my gift cards.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Don Star Lancer, do you think remakes and remasters should also include the original as a bonus feature? I think this is an awesome idea for a preservation standpoint. It can't possibly cost much more to do this in most instances. And I like that. That's actually kind of a cool
It's an
idea.
interesting thought. Not every remake is 1-to-1, but I loved what the Master Chief Collection did, where you could hit the select button or whatever, and it went back to the old graphics.
Mm-hmm.
Because
that's cool.
Since it was a 1-to-1, you're right there where you would have been in the old game, and so you could hit a button. I don't remember actually what button it was, but and go back and forth between like the new upgraded graphics and the old one. I thought that was really good. For me, I mean, like I said before, usually if I'm playing a remake or a remaster, I'm playing it because I want to play the remake or the remaster. So I wouldn't go back. But I guess it would be a nice value added, I guess. Chris?
Yeah, I think it's
Ed?
Chris,
I think it's cool
Ed,
when they do it, but I don't feel like it's something that they have to do, or I feel like it's a necessity. It's cool when it happens.
Yeah. Chris?
Yeah, I'm kind of the same as you. I don't, or the same as Ed, I guess to say. I don't think it's necessarily required. I do think it's awesome when you do the above and beyond kind of thing like Xbox did with the Master Chief Collection. I don't know if has anybody else ever done anything like that, or have they been the only ones who've done something like that?
I don't know. I don't usually play remakes.
Yeah, I mean that's
I'm not sure.
I mean, it's not going to work if one day the Final Fantasy remake comes out, just because it's going to be so different.
That's not coming out.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to come out one day.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
Tim?
Yeah, I'm fine with it. Whatever. That works. whatever the default is. No, I actually do think it's a good idea, because if you're going to bring back something, it came originally from somewhere. So it's a nice, I think it's kind of a respectful thing to be like, hey, this is where it actually all started. And, we have this remake, and then this is what you can play this one as well. So I kind of do like that. I think that's a good idea.
There you go.
Mike Peacott, another apocalypse scenario here. You dash into your Fallout shelter and can only grab one game, one movie, and system to play till the end of days. And it has to be in your existing collection. What is it? And let's pretend that through some miracle, online is still functioning. It's just a minor. It's just a minor apocalypse,
It's just a minor apocalypse.
A minor.
That's funny.
My choice of game would be probably Skyrim because of the huge amount of stuff to do that I haven't hardly approached. And the movie would be Star Wars or possibly Ready Player One because of all the hidden stuff to find.
Oh, nice.
So
That's a
one
good
game
one.
and one movie.
Oh, till the end of days. I guess The Witcher 3.
Dude, I was just going to say that. Yes.
Yeah. I
Witcher
barely
3, baby.
scratched the surface of that game.
Yep.
And like he's saying with Skyrim, like there's just so much to do. I wouldn't want to take, something like BioShock Infinite and be done with it. And then like, okay, well, got to play BioShock Infinite again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Movie, I'm taking The Matrix, I guess.
Ooh.
Chris?
So if we're talking game and it's one in my current library and online is still for some reason working and there's people that to play with online, I'm gonna say Destiny.
Yep.
Just because
Nice.
with
Which
where it
one?
sits right now, probably Destiny 2, just because it's the most current. Where it sits right now with all the expansions, there's tons of there's single player stuff that I can do on my own, but then there's also stuff that I can do online, and it's a little mixture of the two, so you have the replay value one way or the
Yeah.
other.
Mhm.
And then movie, shoot, I don't know. It probably also it'd be something long like one of the Lord of the Rings movies or something. Probably the first
Yeah.
one, Fellowship of the Ring.
Yeah, that's good.
There you go. Tim?
Yeah, I would do Witcher 3 for the game and probably the original Star Wars trilogy.
Well,
Oh,
we
yeah.
can do a trilogy.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, well then I'm
Well,
doing the
okay,
whole Lord of the
oh,
Rings
you can
trilogy.
do a
Then I got some
trilogy.
Yeah,
time.
do the whole Lord of the Rings trilogy. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I thought it was just
Ed?
one episode.
For the game, I'll do Overwatch. And
Nice.
I thought
for
about
the
that.
movie, I'll do
Three
I'll
Amigos.
take Indiana Jones.
Oh, nice.
trilogy.
Good call.
Or yeah, just the trilogy.
There you go.
What do you mean?
Just the...
I don't need that fourth one. I'm good.
No,
I
all
don't
right.
need that fourth one.
I'm with you on
You
that
sure
one,
about that?
Edward.
Sure about that? Okay, perfect. All right, Brian Niebel. Breakfast foods are the best foods in my wife and I's opinion. We love it so much that we even catered our wedding with breakfast foods. Our menu had
Oh,
almond
nice.
French toast, hash brown casserole, biscuits and gravy, fruit, orange juice, and a coffee bar. All that to say, my question to you guys this week is what kind of breakfast meal is your favorite? I'm guessing something that at least has bacon and coffee involved.
Oh, yeah. Coffee's got to be there.
Yep.
Sure.
Yes.
Coffee, 2 eggs over easy, and some bacon. I can do
Ooh.
that every day, all day.
There you go. I'm an omelet man myself.
Ooh,
So I
what
like,
kind?
I mean, I'm pretty boring. So I'm, throw some cheese and ham in there or something like that. I'm pretty
Yeah,
happy.
man, come on.
Bacon on the side, little coffee, and I'll take a couple bites of my kids' pancakes.
they're not going to eat it all.
Exactly. They're not going to
Nice.
finish it. That's why I buy
That's
it.
right. That's right.
Yeah, so I can have some bites.
Ed,
Yeah, Ed.
My favorite one is probably got to be it's a dish called migas.
Okay.
And it's
ooh,
Yeah.
eggs, tortillas,
Mm.
cheese, tomato, kind of almost like a tortilla omelet, sort of.
Not to be confused with Migos. That's
Exactly.
that's a different thing.
You can listen to Migos while you're eating Migas, and
Oh,
it'll
okay.
fit.
And then
It'll
you can
fit,
watch 3 of them in a movie.
That's right.
Amigos.
Those guys
I
are
love-
also different.
Yeah, very, very.
That's right.
They are not bad and bougie.
No, they're not. That's good. Chris, did you say yours?
Pancakes. And then we're gonna have some coffee. We're gonna have some bacon there, clearly. And then you know what? I'll throw in some grits because nobody ever gives any love to grits. I like grits.
Oh,
I
good
love
call on
grits.
grits,
I
man.
do
Yeah, good
not
call
like-
on grits.
I do not like
Oh, I
grits.
love grits.
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
Oh, the one
Jason
black
doesn't
guy
like
on
them
the
either.
show.
I'm like, what's wrong?
I'm supposed to like grits.
You ain't from the South. Get out of here.
I know.
That's right.
That's what I'm saying to
ridiculous.
Stacy though, because she don't like grits either.
Come on, dude, you're our token Black Ops. You have to like this.
Well played, sir. Well played. Token
job.
Black Ops. Well done. All right, Travis Pospisil, in your travels, have you ever gotten lost and ended up someplace wonderful?
No.
Ooh. Well, so as a motorcycle rider, you kind of want to do that. So there's been
Yeah.
a couple times where I've just, especially here in Nashville, just been driving around. I was like, I don't know what this street is. And Jenny will be like, let's go down it. And I'll be like, what? And she'll be like, let's go down it. And I'm like, I can't hear you, the wind. Let's go down that straight. And so we've definitely done that. But can I tell a story about a friend? He's got a better story than me.
Sure.
Brandon Heath, this guy that we used to be on the road with, he was in Hawaii, like Tim, was driving around. He said he had some time to kill between a radio event and a dinner that he was supposed to be doing. And he said he was just driving around, came to a T in the road. He was like, they go right or left. He takes a right, drives down the way, saw all these television trailers and was like, oh, that's cool. Like, they're doing a surfing thing. There's a surfing competition in town. This is all the thing. And then he was like, oh, wait. And he started reading the trailers and it said Jack, Sawyer, all the,
nice.
and he had stumbled upon the Lost set. And
That's awesome.
They were shooting. And so he was like hanging out there and was like kind of texting people he knew, like, oh my gosh, I'm on the set of Lost. That person texts somebody else and somebody comes over and was like, Brandon Heath. And he was like, that's me. Waved him over. And he got to like stand behind the director and watch them shoot Lost.
Wow.
That's awesome. Wow.
So that was him getting lost and stumbling upon Lost. Yeah.
Getting lost in
nice.
Lost.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
Beat that, suckers. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, I've fold.
Wow.
Chris?
I don't really get lost.
Nice.
I pretty
There
much
you have
GPS to absolutely everything.
I do the same thing. But if you do kind of go off the beaten path, I think it's great. It's always fun to just explore. That's what we're doing here. And we had no agenda coming here. We had a few things that we just had to book, like a luau and that kind of stuff. But we were just like, hey, what do you want to do today? And so we're asking a lot of the
Locals?
locals here and the people that work here and picking their brains. And that's exactly what we did yesterday. It was the girl that was our waitress at breakfast was like, you should go here, here, and here. And it's exactly what we did, and we had a ball.
Nice.
Awesome. Yep,
Nice.
It was great.
Woo.
It was great.
Edward?
So I do not mind getting lost.
That's right. Ed Placencia?
We weren't lost. We were in Ireland, and it was basically each morning we would just drive in a different direction and see what we found.
Oh, wow.
With no plan, and we found this really cool. It was like this cave that it was like the largest underground stalactite that the public was allowed to see, or something like that. And we found this really cool cave that you could go on a tour of. That was pretty cool.
That other
That's
one's got
really cool.
aliens on it.
That's right.
The public
Gotta
can't
watch
see
out
that
for
one,
that one.
apparently. Yeah.
No.
Yeesh.
No,
That's a good
great.
question. I love that.
I love
Yeah,
that
that was
question
good.
too. Travis Reeves. I tried to explain AC Odyssey to my wife, and all she got from it was you run around and stab things. So my question is, have you
Sweet.
ever tried to explain a game to someone and do a terrible job at it? Have a great show, guys. I think isn't that what we do every week?
I know.
Try to explain a
Did
game,
you-
do a terrible
Did you hear
job
me
of it.
try to explain the Jackbox games earlier?
Matter of fact, today.
Hey,
That
About
is-
an hour ago.
That's funny.
that is funny.
I chose a terrible time on vacation. There was like 5 or 6 families from here in Nashville. We all went down to Destin, Florida for vacation all together. There's a bunch of church families. We all went.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, I just didn't know any better, man. I'm in the pool. I'm the only guy in the pool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm there with like all the ladies that came, and I proceed to tell them about Final Fantasy VII. I don't know why. Looking
Okay.
back on it, it's one of the things I've told you guys. I'm not a regrets guy.
That's
I
a
regret that one. Yeah, I shouldn't have done that.
You were already married?
Already married? No, this is like when I'm playing Final. I was like in 9th grade,
Oh, okay.
and I just remember like now looking back, it makes my skin crawl thinking of me like, and then there's this guy named Sephiroth, right? And he's got this super long sword, and he's so for like the Geneva Project, and like they couldn't
Hilarious.
have cared less. There's no way they could have cared less. And
You had game.
oh yeah, oh yeah,
Gabe
oh yeah,
had game.
hmm yeah. Jeez, Louise, that's
That's
even
funny.
bringing it up, it makes like I'm sweating just thinking about it.
Mhm. I'm sweating
So
for
funny,
you.
dude.
That's awesome.
Jeez, Chris.
I don't feel like I've ever run into that. I tend to only talk about games. Even when
You're
I was,
really
I mean, I'm
good at
sure I did when I
explaining
was
things.
younger. I
Yeah,
would
you
tell my
can
mom
explain
about
it.
something, and I was like, and I don't remember it. But
Mhm.
I mean, I feel like most of the time these days, I'm only talking about gaming related stuff with other people that are going to know what
Yeah.
I'm talking about, or at least get it.
Exactly.
I don't really just open up the conversation. Hey, you. So this game, right?
Right.
Right. I understand.
And this
Tim?
robotic
Yeah,
monk.
I have the beauty of just being like, you know what, just here, play this game. And I did that to one of my buddies for The Witcher 3, and he absolutely loved it. Like, because how do you really explain The Witcher 3? So I'm like, you know what, just take this game and go play it and tell me what you think. And
That's
he
great.
So yeah, that's the way I do it.
I like that. And Ed
get
did it
it, bud?
earlier. Yep.
And Ed,
That's right.
yeah, we're good. All right, final question over on Twitter. Josh Stapleton at MTTG Street Team. It's been
Hey-o.
reported. It's been reported that many at Rockstar have been putting in 100-hour work weeks to get Red Dead 2 completed. As gamers, what do you think our responsibility is in regards to this? Do we boycott the game, buy the game to reward the hard work, but out of it entirely? I kind of really dig this question because there is that catch-22 in that, yes, they have this huge game coming out, and that's kind of the responsibility of Rockstar. If they're going to make their deadlines, they're going to probably push their people. So what better way to kind of help them is than by buying the game if you want to. I don't think boycotting would be the right way to go because, they're just trying to put out a product.
Yeah. It's interesting for me because I did see a story too where one of the people came kind of after that story. I didn't see who it was, but they said the crunch isn't you don't have to. It's not mandated that everyone has to crunch. It's a choice. And so I remember Stancil's told me in the past, and it goes, me and Stancil, when we're talking back and forth, it really speaks to the music industry as well, because the same thing happens. And it's almost kind of what you do. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes down to it and the album's about to come out and the marketing team's trying to get it together, like, especially for a big artist like Toby, you crunch. It's what you do. And so, as long as it's not forced upon you and you can make the choice, and Stancil would talk about like, man, I had to just head home because, we had been working all day and I was exhausted and, your vision's getting blurry. So, and I still need to make that family time. You know what I'm saying? And so I think there's a big choice there that you have to make as the employee.
Yes.
To say, yes, I will stay, or man, I can't. You know what I mean? I can't today. It's our anniversary, or you know what I'm saying? Something like that.
Yeah, man.
So I think you go buy
hard.
the game because they it's not the people's fault. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just it's a slippery slope, and especially, just kind of coming from what we saw happen at Telltale. It's
man.
It's one of those things where it's voluntary and you don't have to do it, but if your boss is doing it and everyone else is doing it, you feel that pressure that you have to do it, even though you don't have to. Yep. And a lot of times that crunch is unpaid overtime, and
That's
that
right.
it can start a really vicious cycle.
Yeah.
I don't know what the answer is, especially as a consumer. I don't know if I can do anything to change it. But
and it's like, how often do we know and not know? That's what I don't appreciate about kind of just all kind of news being everywhere. It's like, I think a lot of people do this. Movies probably do this. Editors, when a movie's coming out, are probably working just through the night. And that does that mean punish them because they had to work through the night? Like, that doesn't make sense,
Yeah,
no, not at all.
But I don't know how much, like, editors, they're in a union, and so they're going to get paid for that. I don't know what a game dev guy, if he has a union or not, to help him out with that.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a really good point.
It's hard to say.
Yeah, it's so the Red Dead story in particular is one of those crazy things because it was a high up, one of the people at Rockstar that mentioned like, oh yeah, we've been working 100-hour weeks. And then they kind of walked it back a little bit later on because of all the pushback and like, oh, well, actually, it's just like the executive team and the bigwigs, like we're doing it because we want to. And like, it's not mandated. Then you get reports from other people. They're saying, I worked at Rockstar and actually, it was really horrible. And it's kind of like what Ed said before. A lot of times in the gaming industry in particular, we'll ignore the other industries like music and movies and stuff at the moment. But a lot of times that crunch, it may not be that it's like written in like, oh, you have to do this, but it's known without being spoken kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And I do think that there is some merit to like, look, at the end of the day, the only thing that really speaks is money. And so it does come to a weird dilemma. It's like, okay, do I buy this game because all these people that had to put in all these hours and had to do all this crazy crunch and work 100-hour weeks or whatever, and now they may not even be employed because once the project's done, maybe they're expendable. Do I spend the money and then to honor the hard work that they put in? Or do I not pay the money and not buy the game and deny myself the joy that I may have been looking forward to that game to send a message to the publisher or the developer, the head of the studio that, hey, it's not okay that you do this to people. And there's merit to both sides of it because more than likely, if you buy it, if it's someone that it was on the team and then when the game was okay and the game's made, great, we shipped it, now we're cutting half our staff. Like those people aren't seeing the profits of that game. Sure, they're going to see your tweets and about like, oh, I really enjoy the animations of these characters. And if you were the animator on that team, but if you got fired, like you're not reaping the benefits of that. You poured your blood, sweat, and tears out for something, and then like you were just expendable. That's where the issue comes in, and where so many people take issue with the whole crunch and everything like that. And I understand as well. Like I kind of run into it. We've definitely been up against the gun with some projects, and I've spent overnighters at the office working on something to get it done. And again, like I wasn't necessarily told I need to do that, and I don't do it to like for 100-hour weeks or anything. But there's been times where it's like I feel the pressure of I've got to get this thing done or I've got to have this right, and I take a bit of a personal pride in that I want to deliver the most polished product, so I spend the extra time. It's more of my choice to do that kinds of thing. But that's where the issue comes in. Is like, well, I think no game publisher out there says or has said publicly like, oh yeah, crunch is part of our thing that we make. It's part of the job. You got to do it. I think they all say like, oh, well, we don't make them have to do that, but without really saying it, like they're forced to do that. It's like, there's something to be said about like, which is the better way to handle it. Don't buy it out of protest or buy it to honor the work they put in. It's a hard situation to be in.
Yeah.
And a hard decision to make, especially when you just want to play the game.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, I think I mean, I know that there's that, I don't know. I come from crunch world. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, man.
It's what you had to do to get the thing out. Yeah. I mean, Tim, you've done it a bunch of times. You work for yourself.
I do it all the time. I've been working while on vacation, for crying out loud.
Yeah, exactly.
It happens. It's that, and I'm one of those guys who I don't want to leave my team hanging, so I'm going to do what I got to do. So, yeah, there's definitely a fine line there.
Yep. Good question.
Yeah, thank you everybody for all the questions. It was awesome.
All right, so we touched on this last week. The question of the week for you guys is, and I'll probably put it up as a poll, and then you guys can comment on Twitter. Are games easier now than they used to be? We talked about it a little bit last week with just tutorials and, the fact that some games back in the day didn't even come with a booklet. They were just like, here you go, have fun. Chris, what do you think? Games easier now than they used to be?
I'm hesitant, but I would probably say yes, only in the sense that there's very few games these days that purely come down to skill. Most of them are just figure out the thing, and there's so many ways to find out the answer. Whereas back in the day, like if you didn't know what to do in Zelda, like if you didn't have a friend to tell you or give you his input, like you just couldn't figure it out, or you usually have to stick with it until you finally figured it out. So
that's right.
I guess so.
Edward?
Man, I don't know. Because I feel like there are some games that are all about like skill, like Overwatch or any of those shooters, Call of Duty and stuff like that, people are just so much better than me that I just don't understand. But at the same time, you got games like Telltale that you just push a button.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I would say they're more difficult now just because you've got so many more buttons and stuff like that to worry about.
Yeah.
I'm kind of split on this because, back in the day, you didn't have the help and the content that you needed because you could just, nowadays we just go on our phone and if we can't figure something out, so you are kind of left on your own.
Yep.
And so in that respect, I would think they were a lot harder because it was harder to figure out. But I think today's games are more complex because there's more buttons and there's more things to do. So I think it's kind of split, but I do think because back then we didn't have this huge information age, I think they're a lot harder because you have to really kind of dig in and try and figure it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say it's almost comes down to the explaining, but I feel like back in the day, I think we're able to do more, obviously able to do way more in games now. And so they're bigger and more daunting.
Yeah.
But I think, when you watch like retro replay with Troy Baker and Nolan North,
Right.
and they're struggling through, these games from the past where you only had, 2 buttons and a direction.
Yeah, that's true.
A direction pad. It seems like it's more frustrating, but I don't know if they're harder.
Yeah.
Once you get them down. Because I feel like when I play Sonic now, I'm way worse at it than when I played Sonic as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's just because the repetition and how short games were back in the day, you were able to get your muscle memory a little better with them. But I would think these ones are harder in the long run, and there's not that opportunity to just memorize them as easy.
Yeah.
Nice.
I will say, not that it's necessarily a question, but I do think games are way better and have been better this whole generation and even the previous generation. Like, I'm not one of these people that looks back at the NES and the SNES and be like, oh man, those are the days, it'll never be that good again. Like, I think almost every game that comes out today is way better than those games. I am not that person that's like, oh, NES is the best there's ever going to be, never be beaten. No, Doc.
Right. I totally agree.
I'm all about the here and the now.
Yeah.
Right.
Let us know what you guys think. Are games easier now than they used to be? Use hashtag #AnswerMTTG, and we will talk about it next week. Thank you guys so much for being here. 218 in the books. Tim Router, all the way from Hawaii. Thank you for being here, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Representing. I'm Gabe Patillo. That's Tim Router. Ed Placencia, Chris McCracken, and we are married to the games, and we are up out this thing. Big!